Hey gamers, welcome back to a brand new DSP video. We are not gonna be discussing politics. I've read the comments and I've heard the people. We are gonna be discussing video games. We're gonna be watching DSP discuss some gamer news about the Game Awards on Sunday. So that's what we're going to be reacting to. And I also got the daily wrap loaded because there it was 12 minutes long, and when you see a daily wrap, especially in this day and age, that's like 12 minutes long, something's up. So we're gonna be watching that too. So let's get ready. We're gonna be discussing video games. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Finally, a video we all can agree with. Finally, no, nothing crazy is gonna happen. It's gonna be a positive DSP video, guys. Finally, we made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a big controversy right now going on in the gaming community. The last 2 days have been pretty topsy-turvy. We talked about this last week, but the Game Awards are about to announce their Game of the Year nominees tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So tomorrow, at this very same time and place, we will be discussing those. But
and I'll probably definitely be doing a video on that too. So, get hyped, I guess, if you like my vids.
in regards to the Game Awards, there's a few things going on right now that people are really upset about. And we need to discuss these today.
All right, let's discuss it, Phil. I'm ready.
This is going to be pretty interesting in regards to how the Game Awards are received this year. All right. Normally, the Game Awards are received well, and then you have...
Who the fuck says the Game Awards are received well? Every year, people, bitch about them. I've never seen a Game Awards show where everyone was like, wow, nice going, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Papa Jeff. Thank you for the show. It's always some bullshit. Oh, this game should not have been nominated. Oh, this game shouldn't win. What the fuck's Sifu doing in fighting games? What the fuck? What the flippity floppity floop? Whatever the fuck. But, no, actually, everyone loved him. But this time, now people are gonna hate him. Okay.
I have some criticism. I've criticized the Game Awards for many years. Number one, I always have been a big critic of how they vote on games for Game of the Year and these categories. It's a jury.
But these are journalists who are voting for the games. Who fucking cares? Again, does anyone know who votes for the Oscars? I don't see a lot of movie buffs go this crazy about it. They people disagree about things that get awarded. Sure, I mean that's part of the discourse. But okay.
Well, who's in the jury? Well, hand-picked games media, a few hand-picked creators. Basically, it's like friends of Jeff Keighley. that's great, but what about people who are qualified? Or what about
whatever.
A common vote? Well, they have a common vote, and it barely factors in.
The common vote is the player's choice that they show. They show the player's choice when it comes to the Game Awards. So it's not that it doesn't count, it's its own category. Now, you could argue, well, there's no prestige in that. I mean, do people say that about the Oscars? Well, where is the film voter segment, whatever the fuck? No. Okay.
Case in point, there's been years where the jury...
what does the average nobody know about what would be Game of the Year? You could argue, well, gamers play the games, but what if I never played Elden Ring? I've only played the beginning of it, never beat it, probably never will, whatever. So, why would my opinion of that game... I would probably pick, some other game be Game of the Year. But if someone else says, no, Elden Ring is, everyone has a different reason why a game is the Game of the Year to them, and all this other stuff. Some people even might pick a game that came out 5 years ago, because they may not give a fuck about what the games that are coming out. It could be this This is the games I played this year, and this is my game of the year out of the games I played this year. No More Heroes 3, and it's like, yeah, but this game didn't come out. Yeah, but so what? You know, like whatever.
All vote for one game, and the common vote literally goes 100% in another direction. Notably, it was the year of The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow.
Where
wait, you're telling me the people who are gamers or there are people who have different opinions. I mean, even then, you can look at the polling, and the common vote, and there were people who probably didn't think Ghost of Sushi should have been Game of the Year either. It's just that won the vote. Like, who cares? I mean, I wouldn't think Ghost of Sushi was that good. I mean, it's a good game, don't get me wrong, but it's like, how many people think about that game now? I mean, the only reason why now it's like a topic is because they announced the sequel, but before then, like, how many people were like itching for a new game or talking about the first game? Not a lot, because it was a very like straightforward action game. It's not bad, and it's not like earth-shattering either. But I kind of feel there were better games that came out that year. I'll have to look at the list, I guess, if I really cared.
The vote was almost like 95% for Ghost of Tsushima. I take that back. I think it was like 80%. And so it should have won, but they all gave it to Last of Us 2 anyway, because
it's a different category. This dude is acting as if like everything accounts for the same award. No. The Ghost of Tsushima won the player's choice. That was the category. Last of Us 2 was only voted from the jury. They didn't factor in the gamer vote because that's not what they were measuring, stupid.
Journalists wanted to vote for the feel-good Druckmann liberal.
Yet again, the feel-good game that DSP is describing is Last of Us 2. The game that deals with revenge, violence, death, all this stuff. The feel-good liberal game. What the fuck does that even mean? The game was not a feel-good game. This dude is so lost in the sauce with the stupid, like, it's a liberal game, when he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. All it had was a trans character and a muscular woman. I know, guys, women with muscles? Whoa. And it's like, that's it. That's it. That's where it ends. The rest of it is just a revenge plot. No, like, even people who were critical of Last of Us 2, I didn't see a lot of them really go, like, die on the hill of it being a liberal game. I think the liberal aspect of it is only about, like, a character that's trans, which is, like, one character. But why give credence to that argument when the whole game is its own, like, game, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just... There were bigger issues than, oh, there's a character that's a trans character. The liberal aspect of it is so minuscule in the scheme of things for that specific game. It is so cringe. This dude will die on the hill to say that game is a liberal game. It's a feel-good liberal game. What does that mean? Because it has representation? But you know what? You know what's like really funny about this guy? Like shaming people for saying that, for praising the game for having representation, is this dude will also go on and on about saying, oh, this game is so meaningful. I watched the Drax story in Guardians of the Galaxy and I cried, man, because I was like thinking, what if it were me? And all this other shit. But then when someone says, wow, they have a trans character, wow, that's like really cool representation, that's somehow evil and negative. Like, this dude is so dented. Like, this is why the politics channel is a complete train wreck to me. Like, it really doesn't matter where you land on the spectrum of politics. This dude is so stupid when it comes to anything. He doesn't understand the world around him. Like, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Game, which is stupid because it was a good game and should have been voted on for the right reasons, but that's why they did that.
But how does he know? How does he know that's why they voted for it? This dude said it's a good game, but they should have voted for it. How do you know why they voted for a game? How do you know the intention? That's like saying everyone who voted for Kamala Harris only voted because she's a woman. Where is the evidence in that? Is it just off of like one tweet you may have seen someone say, I'm voting for her because she has a vagina? Or are you basically that because you asked every single voter? What is the evidence? That's like saying, well, everyone who voted for Trump voted for him because they loved his red tie or some dumb shit. It's like, that doesn't make sense. And I ask everyone who voted for Trump why they voted for him? Like, this dude wants to insinuate these motivations with people who vote for a game. It's so stupid. Oh my god.
So, yeah, like, I've always had criticisms of this show. It's too long. It's boring as dirt. You could tell it's done.
Boring as dirt. Dude, of course it's long. They also showed game trailers. They also do game trailers. Dude, the last year's Game Awards revealed Elphelt, the goated character, especially now in season 4 of Strive. She's like super good now. It's ridiculous how good she is.
He wants to make money, and also the timing. That's another big thing about the Game Awards, right?
I also like Loki insinuates that Jeff Keighley is a millionaire and he's doing this for the money. Like, Jeff Keighley is just some guy, and he's not like in the poorhouse, but he's not a millionaire either. And this dude acts as if like he's a millionaire. He isn't.
The Game Awards take place the first week of December. I think this year it's the second week of December. Okay? But there's a problem. The second week of December is not the end of the year. So any game that basically comes out between now and the end of the year is not up for contention for Game of the Year. I want to repeat myself. Any game coming out between now and the end of the year is not in contention because the Game of the Year nominees come out tomorrow. So that means no Flight Simulator, no Stalker 2, no Indiana Jones, no Marvel Rivals, and anything else, because I only mentioned the 4 that are at the top of my head.
Wow, who
Any other
cares?
games that came out between now and the end of the year cannot possibly win an award. And you might say, well, that's not true, because Mr. Keighley claims that those games can be eligible for next year. No one thinks about those games next year.
How funny is it gonna be if there's a game in the nominations that came out in December last year? It's like, what if, right?
A game that comes out in a given year is thought about in that year. You're not going to what if Microsoft Flight Simulator blows you away? It will not win an award next year. No one will think about it nominated.
He should have gone with Indiana Jones. That would have been a way better example, because Flight Simulator is the stupidest example you could think of. You really think that's going to win Game of the Year? Or that it has a chance? Oh, man.
It or vote for it. Okay? So essentially, it's a rigged show. It always has been. It's been a bullshit show.
How is it rigged? Because of the timing. That's not how that works.
People voting aren't legit. It's skewed to one side by far. And you eliminate games from the running.
How does he know it's skewed in one direction? How does he know that? How does he know that people who vote for Last of Us are all liberals? How does he know that? Oh, because they work in media? Okay.
Because of the timing. You might say, well, why does he time the Game Awards like that? Money. This is the biggest advertisement revenue time of the year. If he wants to make money on ads, he has to do the show during the holiday season. And no one's going to want to fly out there and do it Christmas week. So he has to get it in within the first 1 or 2 weeks of December, bank on all that revenue, and then run out like a madman rich as shit. And
then runs out like a madman rich as shit. You realize that, like, the investment of doing these shows and investing into Summer Game Fest takes money, right? Man, this dude, just thinks like a cartoon character. Okay. Yeah, guys, 100%. Jeff is a millionaire. He's so 100%, rich.
And stupid because he wants it to be legit. And I don't think that, a lot of people think Jeff Keighley is like a heinous villain. I don't think he's a heinous villain. He's got a track record of being in games as a
No one thinks he's a heinous villain. They just think that, like, he's a sellout. But again, like, these award shows aren't cheap to run, and for him to do it, he does need to get sponsorship, so he does need to sell out, like, obviously, to get these things off the ground. Like, it's not a secret. It's, like, so obvious. You don't have to, like, go to school to learn this.
Journalist for a long time. Then he became kind of semi-wealthy doing it and started investing in shows like this, and they took off. I don't think the guy's bad. I just think that he does things in a way that definitely could be done better, and he doesn't listen to criticism because he feels like he is the guy now. You know, with E3 dead.
What criticism? The only criticism people had last year was that he was cutting off people from talking from their thankful speech and all this other stuff, and not really caring about the layoffs and all this other stuff in the industry. But these are like grander issues that a lot of people have with certain like aspects of the industry. Like it's a deeper problem in that I wouldn't say like, because again, if Jeff said on the stage layoffs are wrong, it's not gonna stop the layoffs. Like, I understand the intent that, like, you know, there should be some awareness of like of these layoffs happening and not like cheering for these companies and all this stuff. But it's like, at the same time, in the same breath, I don't think Jeff Keighley is gonna reverse the industry and save everyone's jobs. Like he's not a superhero. He's just a guy.
Feels like he's the guy to go to for game news and information, and that he's above reproach. So,
and then I love that all these people, he gives them an ego. He forces an ego on them. They think that they're above reproach and this or that, but it's like, it's honestly projection, because that's how DSP acts when he gets a lot of money. And you know what? That is how he acts. Guess what, guys? He said in this podcast, I don't know if we'll see in the part where I want to watch, but whatever, we'll see. He did say if he hits 200 the vest streak to play Stellar Blade, that now the trolls cannot criticize him anymore. That they can finally shut up about any criticism they have. That right there is the definition of feeling that he's above reproach. But, man, no, Jeff feels that way because he has a show, apparently. But this guy who is hoping to hit the vest streak goal is gonna start bragging how the trolls cannot criticize him or say anything about him because of that. This dude is so insane. I like... He says he's not a lolcow, but this is how a lolcow acts.
Here, he is under the most fire he's ever been for the Game Awards. Are you ready?
I think he was on the most fire last year, because it's literally last year, all these people were losing their jobs left and right, and he was just like, gaming is great. I love gaming. Oh, we're just in such a boom. And it's like, Jeff, people are like losing their jobs right now. Like, and then he said, like, there's that image of wrap it up and all this stuff. Like, I think it was more under fire last year. I mean, this is still pretty, like, this is more of just, like, why did they make this choice kind of thing? Not like, oh my god, I can't believe Jeff did this.
So, by the way, I have some shout-outs to do, and I promise you...
Okay, we're not... One. I don't get... Oh, wait.
This year, and this is the first time this has ever happened on the Game Awards, this section has shown up on the Game Awards website. Ready? Are DLCs, expansion packs, and remakes and remasters eligible? The Game Awards aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format of that content's release. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories if the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination. Factors such as the newness of the content and its price and value should be taken into consideration. Okay?
Now let's take this at face value, right? Now, I think, you know, remasters should not be included because that's just, hey, we're just gonna like enhance the visual and do some like tweaks. Remakes, I think that's fine because that is like you're rebuilding the game. Like I think Nier Replicant, the remake for that was also like built from the ground up. They added new content to it. Because the mermaid section is new, I think. And they added a new ending. That is fine, in my opinion. Remasters are just like, hey, we're just gonna take it and just put it out. That should be its own category because we should award remasters that are actually good, so that way they have something to strive for to make remasters good. DLCs, expansions. Now this I think is kind of funny because I feel like if this was part of the Game Awards years ago, I feel no one would care, and people would be like, yeah, like around the time when expansions were like, whole new story content, all this stuff, I feel people would be like, hell yeah. Now, obviously not so much because I mean they're just kind of like, okay, people understand what they are, but I feel like years ago it probably would have gone over better, but now not so much. But this says that the factors are that if it's worthy in the sense of the creative and technical work and the newness of it, and I think that is and the price and value. I think that's a nice idea or a nice criteria to have, but that's very subjective to the individual because some people may not see it enough as, oh, this is definitely something that feels new and fresh. This doesn't, whatever. So I don't know how that would necessarily work in this. And again, it would open the door to a lot of people saying this is bullshit as well. So I'm torn on this overall, but I am leaning more of it should just be its own category more so than anything else. I think that's a better approach, and that's what they should have done. I don't think they should have said, oh, I put it in everything. Because I can understand music, because if they added new music, that's new music. But again, that should be its own category. On the other triple hand, or whatever the fuck, I guess they only want to do this as a quick way, because maybe if they added them as their own individual categories, it would go on too long. But they should just get rid of the content creator of the year shit. Get rid of that kind of stuff. You don't need to award an esport player. I mean, they get awarded enough as it is. I don't think they need a game award for that. And content creator, they don't. Every year they announce the content creator, no one knows who the fuck they are. So I'm kind of excited to see who's gonna be nominated. I hope Double Cock gets nominated. He does really good content.
So what does that mean? Up until this year, you'd never seen anyone say, oh, a DLC could be Game of the Year. Right? You really haven't. It never happened. Or a remake or remaster. That's always been a thing of contention for me. I remember a few years ago, I said that Resident Evil 2 Remake was my Game of the Year. And a lot of people said, that's not possible.
The reason why people said that's not possible is because DSP said it wasn't possible. He told us he doesn't believe remakes should be eligible for Game of the Year, blah, blah, blah. So people were just going to throw that excuse back at him.
A remake cannot be a Game of the Year. To which I said, there's a difference, because there's different kinds of remakes. Some remakes are just graphical facelifts, right? Oh, the graphics are slightly improved, but they don't really do anything to tweak the gameplay to make it better. The story's exactly the same. The music, the voice acting is the same. Remaster. Just instead of being a 720p game on the Xbox 360, now it's a 1080p or 4K game on a modern console. That's a graphical facelift. And to be honest, I don't think that should be eligible for Game of the Year. You're basically riding on the work and the coattails of people who came before you, and you just did some tweaks, right? However, if you look at some of these awesome modern remakes we've had, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and this year, Silent Hill 2 Remake. These are games that were remade from the ground up. This is a brand new game that does have similar story elements, similar puzzles, and similar
What about Dead Rising Deluxe Edition Remake?
If you play Silent Hill 2, the original, and you play the remake,
I mean, they also do voice actors too.
You're gonna get more.
It's so funny. He's probably not gonna consider it, but it does the meme for DSP. It has new graphics and new voice acting. And new controls. And new controls.
And the gameplay elements have been completely changed, and the game looks completely different. It's a new game. So in that case, I definitely think that those kind of remakes should be eligible. DLCs. Now, here is where we start getting into a hairy business. Okay?
Hairy business.
There is a very good reason why we're talking about this year, folks. I've already mentioned it on this very podcast.
But you
This
know
year
what's
has
funny?
been
Actually, you know what? You look at this. It's DLCs, comma, expansion packs. Now, I'm assuming the expansion packs, they've changed the definition because they call like Uncharted Lost Legacy an expansion pack, but because it's a standalone game, but it's not a full game. But expansion packs used to mean like, hey, this is DLC that would add on to the main game, but that would also be under the umbrella of DLCs. But here they're separating the two. So are we gonna include games where the DLCs are literally just costumes? If that's the case, Atlas owns the monopoly. Well, almost. They're one of the companies because they have a lot of DLC costumes. That and Like a Dragon. So we're gonna award DLCs that may have just be costumes. I don't know, but again, it says in there that it depends on the value and all this other stuff. So I really wonder what's gonna happen after the fact and the ramifications that this may have on the industry if you think about it. Because how they look at DLCs could also tell publishers what kind of DLCs they need to focus on. So this could have either a positive outcome or a negative one. We'll see what happens.
incredibly underwhelming year for games. There's been, first of all, way too many RPGs. And when you have so many games in one category all coming out within 1 year, what happens is they all overshadow each other. They all become a haze. They all become almost indiscernible from each other.
How?
There's been so many RPGs this year.
All these RPGs stand on their own. Persona 3 Reload is so different from fucking Metaphor, and that's so different from Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and Like a Dragon. Like, I can think of all these games. They're all different. And they're all the same. Why? Because they have fucking levels and shit? Like, what?
Of high profile that none of them really were able to shine.
SMT5
like
Vengeance.
The Persona 3 remake.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon Age Veilguard. Metaphor.
Oh my god.
Persona 3
Look at this counting. Look at this counting.
remake. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Okay. 4 fingers. This dude could not use his pinky.
Dragon Age Veilguard. Metaphor.
He's been doing this weird count. You know, I remember ALT was doing a restream of the podcast, and he did like the 1, 2, like weird finger shit. He's doing it again. What happened? This guy can't count. He can't count with his fingers anymore. He's fucked up.
4. Dragon Quest 3 remake. And that's 8, and I just thought off the top of my head.
Wait, what? 8? Oh my god, we gotta do this again.
All become a haze.
Fucking
they all
damn
become
it, DSP, why are you doing this to
indiscernible
me?
from each other. There's been so many RPGs this year of high profile that none of them really were able to shine. Like a Dragon Infinite Well. The Persona 3 remake. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon Age Veilguard. Metaphor. Dragon Quest 3 remake. And that's 8?
7.
And I just thought off the top of my head.
7. I counted.
I guarantee you there's probably another 10
and he says
that
8 because he realized he was doing this, and then he was like, I must have counted with my pinky. Dude, something's going on. Oh my god. Watch. In a month or a week or whatever the fuck he's gonna say. See, my detractors, they are so fucked in the head that they were like looking at how I use my fingers to count. But in reality, guys, I was pretending to fuck around so they would actually focus on my fingers so I can show them how crazy they are. I can't count, but I did to felt them. Man.
Okay? Now here's the thing. I like RPGs. I think that they're great. I really do. I grew up playing them.
So then I love that he says all this stuff about RPGs and all this stuff, but the reason why he's saying this is because they don't pull in an audience. That has nothing to do with the game, the quality, or how other people enjoy these games. This dude is so RPG phobic, it's insane.
Immersed in games like Final Fantasy 2 and 3.
I mean, this is like if I said, guys, I don't know how Elden Ring can stand apart. There's all these other FromSoft clones. How could anyone think about Elden Ring? And someone would probably tell me, Theo, there are huge differences, stupid. I'm like, oh, okay. But DSP is so, like, fucking dented.
Which is now 4 and 6 respectively, and then playing like Final Fantasy 7 on PS1, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, you know, even top-down RPGs that are more action-based like Zelda.
Awards?
Listen, I'm there. I love those games.
Zelda is an RPG.
If 10 of them, 12 of them came out in one year, I'd probably have issue. I'd be like, all right, it's too much of the same. And that's the problem. This year, it seemed like game developers just did not
They all play differently, though. Metaphor plays completely different from Persona 3. The only similarities is, like, there is a form of S-links in Metaphor, but the combat and all that are completely different.
Crap about their environment and what was coming out. They just dumped upon us an insane amount of the same genre of game to the point where it's a sea of them. And now they're all melded together, indiscernible. And what's happened is, I feel like they've lost their luster.
They lost their luster, man.
Last year, Baldur's Gate 3 stood out. The diamond in the rough. It was so far above the other RPGs that came out last year that you knew that that was going to be the game that everyone was going to be talking about for Game of the Year. I mean, it destroyed its competition like Starfield and shit like that. It crushed it into fucking dust, right?
Remember when
it really
he said
was the best RPG in a very long time.
Starfield release?
This year, can you
That's
tell
the way
me
of things.
one RPG that stood out
I love how fucking condescending he was. And then he says, I didn't say that. But it's like he said it in such a condescending way that like he was talking to people who never heard of it before. He's like, look guys, when Starfield comes out, that's just the way of things. And then when he was wrong, he's like, well, I didn't say that like Starfield was gonna be the end all be all, but you acted as if it was.
Some people would say
I'm doing my laundry. This is a timer, guys. Relax.
I would tend to agree. In the 12 hours I played a Metaphor, it felt like Persona 5 plus. It just felt like they were.
I hate the plus thing, and honestly, in my opinion, the only reason why I love Metaphor is because it's a fantasy. Because probably him and Kat are probably fucking annoying as fantasy nerds. And like this, I kind of hate how DSP likes things because he likes things on a very superficial level. Again, watch him like play like Life is Strange. He doesn't care. He just likes it because, dude, superpowers. And I'm surprised he didn't like the ending of the last one because it did everything he liked. I guess it was kind of goofy that Max will return, and it's like, okay, that is kind of like a Marvel thing, but DSP probably would say that anyway. God, but whatever, okay.
For all these improvements upon the formula of Persona 5, okay? So, for me, it's probably Metaphor.
I love that you keep saying Persona 5 as if Alice never did any other RPG. I mean, you could say that, oh, it's like it's SMT3+++.
And you could argue, well, but it's very similar to Persona 5 in most ways, and I can't disagree there. You know,
how?
It really feels like this year,
okay,
RPGs flooded the market, and what's happened is normally you'd see one or two really good RPGs in a year.
Metaphor
would be like Game of the Year contender.
Metaphor is literally that RPG, though. It stood out more than anything. Okay.
Because there's been 12 RPGs of that stature this year, everyone's like, nothing stands out. So what you're faced with is a year.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of people talk about Metaphor a lot.
Silent Hill 2 Remake. That stands out.
I'm in an RPG community.
But really, for most people, they'll be like, well, I really liked Helldivers 2. Yeah, well, you know, I really liked, Silent Hill Remake. Well, I really liked Metaphor. Well, I actually really like Black Ops 6. But there's no consensus. It's just all over the place.
Every year he says this, by the way. He said this last year. He said the same shit last year. Oh, there's no consensus. There's Zelda, there's Baldur's Gate, there's Starfield, and there's no clear winner. Wow. Wow, Einstein, you're telling me that there's all these games that people have different opinions that are all discussing their favorite games? This dude, every fucking year, acts as if he just discovered what an opinion is. This dude is insane. This is like you go to the FGC and you realize, oh, wow, there's some people like Guilty Gear Xrd. There's some that like Strive, but then there's some that said Strive sucks, and then some said Xrd sucks. Huh? Like, no shit. Wow. Some people like this and this and this and this, and some people don't. Wow, there's no consensus. So weird, man. This never happened before.
This year, there's no one definitive game that people are pointing to and going like, game of the year. Instead, it's like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I didn't even play that one. But, you know, I really like this one.
Find a bridge.
It's all over. But what did actually come out this year and stand out and make record sales numbers and everything? Guess what? A DLC by the name of...
Sales numbers. We're now going back to boiling everything down to sales numbers. DSP, find a bridge. And tell the little fishies when you dive the sales numbers of the fucking cement brick you used. Oh my god.
Shadow of the Erdtree for Elden Ring. And if you haven't paid attention, FromSoft Games get their asses kissed, get their balls massaged.
This guy, Mr. I only want to play the FromSoft video games. I don't want to play these knockoffs. I want to play the real thing. Is now like mocking other people for that mentality when he has that mentality about everything. He didn't want to try any other game because they were all knockoffs and he doesn't bother with the knockoffs. Except for when he does.
They get fluffed on the Game Awards. I mean, Sekiro won Game of the Year, for God's sakes, and that's arguably, in my opinion, the worst game FromSoft's made in the Soulsborne style category. Okay?
Oh, man.
So, the way I see it, the whole reason that we've got this
I didn't beat it.
as a spot of contention this year,
I'm so mad at that game, by
Jeff
the way.
Keighley,
I was so close of being the fucking lady, butterfly, whatever the fuck. She was one hit away. I was ready. I was like, okay. I mistimed one parry, and I had to restart the entire fight. And I was like, fuck this game. I had it. I was ready. And after that, I was like, I'm not going back to that. That burned me so deeply. So deeply. I don't want to even see this game anymore. I don't want to touch it. But I am kind of getting an itch to go back to play that game. But that pissed me off so much. Man, I might get mad a little bit thinking about it.
Has every intention of naming Shadow of the Erdtree a Game of the Year nominee. We're going to find out tomorrow, but I almost guarantee...
This is saying other people's opinions on Twitter, because a lot of people have been saying that. Oh, Jeff doesn't want to give Metaphor Game of the Year, so he does this, so he can give it to Elden Ring. But the difference is, these people are probably like doing like shitposting kind of stuff, so it's like funny and like you're more willing to engage with that discourse. But DSP is none of that, so you just want it to end.
That's why this blurb was added to the Game Awards this year, because he wants Silent Hill 2 Remake and Shadow of the Erdtree to be two of his Game of the Year nominees, but you couldn't do that unless you made it clear that they were eligible, right?
Wasn't
so that's definitely
Remake eligible?
Definitely what I'm seeing. All right.
Whatever.
However, people are very upset about this. Just to give you some examples, if you just scroll down, DLC should be its own award.
Again, I just love that DSP News has degraded to the point we can't just get DSP's take. We get his take, but but only when there's other takes that will back him up. Because in the last Gamer News, he read like people who were excited for Neil Druckmann's next game, and he was very like, you got some people who like him, okay. Scroll down. Well, yeah, this guy hates him too. I agree, and it's like that's impartial news. Like, this is the kind of shit people mock a lot of, like, media for it. Like, and he mocked this about side-scrollers with Barbara Walters. Well, what if Barbara Walters interviewed Trump and said, wow, what a doo-doo head? But this dude was like, he reads a news story and then, like, glosses over people who are like, wow, I can't wait for the next game, and then focus on the ones that said, Neil sucks, he should get fired, he should lose his job.
Remakes, remasters its own, including them for all categories, is an insult to any fully new game. All this just so you can give Elden Ring 2 Game of the Years.
Oh, man.
This is stupid as hell. There should be a category for DLCs and expansions. This means that they're nominating Elden Ring again. This is pretty much an excuse for Elden Ring, see? So exactly what I just said. It's exactly right. And that's how everyone feels.
See?
That basically this is a whole
all these people agree.
Shill idea. He wants Elden Ring to be in there. And if he didn't put that in there, the jury wouldn't vote. So this is the first.
How does he know that
pieces of controversial
how
stuff?
How does he know the jury wouldn't vote? First,
Number two,
we went from Jeff wants this to now the jury wants this.
Who is the jury? Who is this?
Who is the
nameless, formless group of people who vote
Who is the jury?
in the categories for the Game of the Year award, or Game Awards? It's just Game Awards, by the way, not Game of the Year awards. It's just Game Awards. Well, guess what? Previous years, the voting jury.
I hate his mouse movement. It's so fucking, like, cringe.
Would be listed on the website. See archive today. This is from previous years.
See this? See this? Look at that. Look at that. It's really just doing this. And it's, like, really annoying.
And the jury would be mainstream gaming media such.
By the way, DSP got a lot of gamer news from Forbes. So he, in my opinion, is the last person on the planet Earth that should be complaining about the fucking jury being the LA Times. Because this dude would get his fucking gamer news from Forbes. Forbes.
As Game Informer and stuff like that. Of course, Game Informer doesn't even exist anymore.
But those are gamers,
But it would also be like big time other news outlets, Ars Technica, Entertainment Weekly, the LA Times.
Yeah, because they probably have departments that play video games and they want to interview them because they review games and people may read their reviews, blah, blah, blah. But okay.
Handpick the games media that he felt should be in it. So, for example, he has PC Gamer and Polygon there, but he doesn't have others.
He has Giant Bomb. That's a gamer thing. They have IGN. He doesn't have others. They have Polygon and what was PC Gamer. But there's all these other gamer outlets. He just saw a Game Informer. Giant Bomb is one, but he probably doesn't know who Giant Bomb is. IGN is one. Like, okay.
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 Also,
and he doesn't know these others. Like, there is Game Freak. That they do game videos. Games Radar. Gamer Tag Radio. And but there's all these other stuff that he doesn't even know. But okay.
There would be no exaggeration. Here's a year. Things that essentially have nothing to do with gaming, like Pride.com.
Pride.com?
Activist website.
Yeah, because we all know that Pride doesn't do anything with gaming at all, right? I kind of want to check it out. Oh, let's do it. We're going on a field trip, guys. I don't know what my tabs are gonna be. Let's go to Pride.com. Oh, wow. We can't... Okay, we can show this. This is Pride.com, correct? We can't stop laughing at these Trump support... Okay. Wow, what great front page, by the way. Where's gaming? I don't think it would be video. Where's gamer? Where's the gamer segment? Come on. Video? I mean, it is a video game. No, that's not it. Love and sex, identities, and interview drag. I don't know. Well, they talk about movies. All right. All right. But I'm sure somewhere there they play video games. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't they play video games? A web mag that doesn't even focus on games and exists solely to push activism out. But is this fans? But I guess if this is voting, I mean, at the end of the day, who fucking cares about Pride.com being part of the jury? That's like one vote. I'm assuming that each site is like one vote. So why is it a big deal that Pride.com gets a vote? And who's to say that maybe they are playing video games? Just because they don't review games doesn't mean that they don't play video games. And what if they are there for a different reason altogether? Like, it's one fucking website, but whatever, okay.
Or guess what? Gay pride. So it's like, why would they be voting on Game Awards, right? So what happened over the years?
I mean, NPR is there. Why? So okay, you know what? I'm gonna go the other way with this. So Pride's there, and that's the one he wants to focus on. What about NPR? How many young people go to NPR? The only thing I heard from NPR is when I would be driven to school with my mom, I would just hear dun, 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 dun. That song, man. Oh man, I kind of want. Let's see if I can find it. NPR theme. Let's do NPR theme. It's just the. Yeah. I would hear that every morning on the way to school. It was just like, it would put me back to sleep.
Is that these awards got more and more into question. Why don't the gamers vote? Well, they
have
do,
a gamers vote,
but
though.
The gamer vote is minuscule. Like,
the gamer vote is its own section, though. And we're getting fucking a tweet from fucking Vara Dark. Oh man, another Twitter account I love so much. But they have their own segment. It's called the fucking what's it called? The player's choice. Oh my god.
The common vote counts for like 10%, while these other sites are determining the winners of all of these awards. Like, how does that make any sense?
How does that make sense?
So shouldn't the gamers themselves who are buying and playing the games be the ones to determine who wins? It's kind of like the Academy Awards or the Oscars, where they've got this secret.
Yeah, but like, what kind of, like, to some degree, right? If you want a prestige award, what kind of average person is gonna understand what would make something artistic or prestige, right? Or whatever the fuck. Like some dude who's playing a video game may play it just for fun. And they may not care about the story. But that's part of the game. So if we're trying to value game of the year, like going after the gamer vote, it's not gonna really give you an idea of what is artistic. If you want this to be an artistic medium, like there has to be kind of like something like that or whatever the fuck. Like it's a fucking award, man. Just think about yourself. Just think about the game you like, and that could be your game of the year. Like, this is like a nothing thing to complain about. Every year, people just bitch about the fucking Game Awards, and it's just like, you can dislike them. I'm not saying that, oh, you can't criticize the Game Awards or that there's nothing to complain about or whatever the fuck, but it's just that to be this worked up about it is just stupid. Because first off, they probably want a smaller pool of votes or people to vote on these games because it's easier to like pull like 5 people, let's say, instead of the entire globe. And it probably, and the award itself would be meaningless if it was just everyone involved when these awards are supposed to be like reflective of just a small jury. But whatever.
Club of people who get to vote and they determine the winners, but half the time the movies that win, you don't even know what the fuck they are. You never heard of them. In the meanwhile,
but you know what? This is the other thing that I was watching a Mega 64 podcast talking about movies, and they were reviewing Poor Things. They were talking about the awards, and this is an aspect that I didn't think about when it comes to these. Half the time, a lot of movies bank on getting nominated because it gives them another like chance to sell more tickets or to have more people watch the movie. So it's beneficial for the director because they make these movies for people to watch them, and the Oscars nominating them gives them a spotlight, and I think that's ultimately the takeaway from these award shows. It's not that this is the end all be all. It's more of just like to get more exposure on games that you may have missed. Like, sure, you can say with games it's a little different when it comes to that because it's more accessible to get to a game that you want to like play as far as AAA games are concerned. But when it comes to movies, it's a little different because there's a lot more factors to get to see a movie. Like, you're not going to be able to watch a foreign film because it doesn't really make it into a lot of theaters and not a lot of people want to read subtitles. But when it comes to the Oscars, when the Oscars give a nomination, you're more inclined to be like, oh, that got nominated. I kind of want to check that movie out then, because if someone liked it enough for that, hey, maybe it's worth watching. And then you get to be exposed to other ideas, other directors, etc., etc. Like, I don't think anyone would have known who Yorgos Lanthimos is if it wasn't for I think The Lobster got nominated, The Favorite. Like, these movies got him more acclaim worldwide. Like, no one knew Lanthimos's earlier films like Dogtooth, Alps. Movies like that, no one would know who the fuck that is. But since he got into the Oscars, people are like, oh, Poor Things got nominated. Okay, I'm gonna go check that out. Because I think the director said, hey, thank God for the Oscars, because now we get to put our movies back into theaters and people can watch it more in theaters again. So, there is a somewhat of a value of getting these awards to be in the small, like a smaller group to nominate them. Otherwise, we leave it to everyone to just able to nominate and vote on these games for these awards. You wouldn't feel the need to check out other games that much. I mean, it all varies. But again, it's a different like delivery. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But it's like, it's not the same as movies, because movies, they do need to kind of rely a little bit more on like more word of mouth. I don't think this is a good example he brought up because of that. That's the point I'm getting at.
Well, the movies that have made the most money or the most popular and everyone liked almost always get snubbed.
I'm sorry. This may piss off the Marvel nuts out there. I'm kind of happy Marvel movies and DC movies get a little snubbed because, man, sadly though, I have a feeling Joker 2 is gonna get a nomination and it does not deserve shit. But they should be snubbed harder because, man, those movies are just they're just popcorn roller coaster movies. Who fucking cares? I liked Killers of the Flower Moon, great movie, highly recommend it. But I was also equally happy that Poor Things won the award too, because that was also another good movie. So, I'm glad that these movies, because more people checked out Poor Things after it got nominated again, and then it won, and it got more people to check out that movie. And it's a good movie. It's a great movie. So I don't think that he should be arguing that movies should be, that the Oscars should look at more popular vote, because what if a shitty movie is popular, right? And this dude, and it's also ironic coming from him that he wants the popular vote to mean something when this dude says that it's bad being popular. People like this thing for the sake of being popular. I thought that's bad. But now he's getting mad that this Game Awards isn't giving the popular vote the chance, so we can't like something for being popular. Make it make sense.
So it's kind of the same deal at this point, right? Now, last year, Baldur's Gate 3 Across the Board was the game that got nominated and voted.
Now it's across the board.
It's not like,
he said it wasn't that clear cut last year.
Issue. But this year, in a year when we don't have a definitive game that's number one, standing above all others, this year's going to be this kind of a problem. But here's the funny part about this year, folks.
Think about it, though.
Guess what?
They
didn't bother listing the jury this year. This year, we actually have no idea who's...
Okay. This is the issue I have with this. If you think about it, when did they announce the jury of last year? Because the problem I have with this post is that this is posted after the fact. So what if they didn't they're not uploading the jury until either during or after? Either after they announce the nominations or after the awards are done with. Like, secondly, there's a volatile like aura because like how people have responded to anyone reviewing any fucking game. Maybe these people just don't want to to deal with fucking harassment. Maybe, or maybe they just didn't upload them. Like it's not. It's kind of a It's worth asking these kind of questions. I feel when you see stuff like this because they don't do this for like petty reasons. But at the same time, who fucking cares? Like, the people who rate the movies, the MSRB, that's another shadow group that no one knows who they are. Same with the Oscars. But I don't see film nuts, like, going crazy, forming conspiracy theories and freaking out about not knowing who's voting. Why do you need to know who's voting for the games? When you already are not gonna like who won anyway. Like, would it make it any better? Like, and that's the funny thing about them saying that there needs to be transparency. Why does it matter? These people wouldn't like the winner anyway. And they already argue that they do it out of like liberal propaganda as it is. So it doesn't really matter. These people are like not good faith people, honestly.
Voting for the awards at the Game Awards. It's completely been hidden and no disclosure has been given whatsoever. Could it be? Could it be that we just had an election in the United States?
Man, how the fuck does the election affect this? This is literally how can I make this about me kind of situation, but instead of it's about me, it's about the election.
Literally every body of government is now going to be dominated by Republicans, i.e. conservatives. But
now, he says this, but now let's think about it this way, right? If we're a free speech nation, right? We all believe in free speech. Why is he making a big deal that these are all responses to the government becoming Republicans? It insinuates low-key that are the Republicans not about free speech? But then DSP would say that the liberals are against free speech because now you can't say slurs. Now you can't say, you have to be careful what pronouns to use and this and that. Meanwhile, we're seeing this and he's connecting to the elections for some reason. What if it's not about that and it's about something else? Maybe they don't want to show them because they're still voting for the game and they don't want people to like go after these people and try to sway their votes. And they want to be more honest that way, and they're gonna reveal the jury after the fact. Again, when did they show the jury last year? I don't know. Did they show them immediately, or did they show them after the fact? Okay.
Jeff Keighley and all his buddies who are in the voting are left-leaning, right? You don't see a Fox News on here. You don't see.
Yeah, let's get Fox News involved because when I think gamers, I think Fox News. Maybe they don't want to be a part of it, stupid. Oh man, this dude probably gets his news from Fox News with the other boomers.
Anyone in a conservative sphere here. In fact, a lot of these you can point out, oh, leftist. And again, this isn't DS politics, but this is gaming. It seems like he is pushing his agenda.
This is so corny. This is so corny to insinuate that all these are liberal publishers. If that's the case, why don't I see people hate PC Gamer? I've seen people hate Polygon, but they've hated Polygon for years. That's not new. No one talks about what's good games, so I don't know what the fuck they're about. VentureBeats, I don't know what they're about. LA Times, they're in LA, and everyone hates LA, so... IGN, well, it's IGN. Inverse, I haven't heard anything about them. NPR, again, it's NPR. Game Rant, I've not heard anyone say anything political about Game Rant. I've not heard them say anything else. Like, this liberal propaganda bullshit is very like flimsy, but whatever. But I mean, again, he's getting these things from very like uh conservative reporters, and this dude is talking about where's the fairness when these people have their own interests at in stake. I mean, they're all grifters. All these people he's talking with are all grifters. Yes.
Onto his Game Awards show.
These people all also like
it's supposed.
Not him. I think it was Grums of all people. All wanted, or not, maybe not Grums, but whatever. It was another dude saying, "Please support Stuttering Craig's Game Awards, guys. Come on." And it's like, yeah.
Supposed to be a show that recognizes the best games of the year, not the games that they feel are pushing their agendas. And it seems like
what agenda did Sekiro push, though? See, this is the issue with these claims I have with when I see some people say, like, they can say that the voting is dumb or whatever the fuck, or that the awards they award the wrong game. That's like a statement. But when people say that there's some agenda they're pushing, it's like, well, if that's the case, then why did Elden Ring lose? Not Elden Ring. Why didn't Elden Ring lose? Why didn't Sekiro lose? Like, because I think Sekiro came out with another like game people were saying was liberal and this that. No, Elden Ring did as well. Elden Ring, yeah, okay. I think Sekiro also came out with another liberal game, by the way, but Elden Ring also came out during Horizon, and people were like, "Oh, they're gonna pick the one that all the liberals love," and both those games lost to FromSoft games. So how is the liberal propaganda so strong that it lost to that? And these are the same people that also say that games media hates Japanese games, but yet again, Western games have lost to Japanese games over the time. I mean, you could bring up the xenophobic era of game reviews way back then, but that's back then versus now. And sure, you could find some examples here and there. Again, I would never say that these things don't happen, but when it comes to the Game Awards specifically, it's very flimsy in my opinion, because when you look at the games that get the awards, I just think that these people just vote on the games that they think should win. And again, they pick games that people either like or they don't like because they're people. You know what I'm saying?
They're voting. I mean, again, Last of Us 2 swept the Game Awards in 2020 when people were saying, no, I don't think so. Right? And in fact, if you take a look, I mean, Grums is, just for the record, Grums is a very, very conservative person on X. But he's basically just calling out. Yeah, take a look at how each one of these, is not in line with the common gamer's values these days.
Read him. Right? Read what he thinks.
Look, Wukong and Stellar Blade will be snubbed. Dragon Age Veilguard will be lauded and propped.
This dude, I played Stellar Blade. I'm gonna say it. The game is not good. It's not bad. It's very average. The fact people, I'm gonna die on this fucking hill. I have seen people accuse Nier Automata as a gooner game and this and that, but that game has a richer story, better music, better world building, better everything, better gameplay, better everything, better game design, better character design, better everything. Stellar Blade is literally designed for gooners. That's not wrong. That's not bad, by the way. I'm not saying it's bad for this game to be a gooner game, but I do think a lot of people are overly praising it, and I feel if this game came out before Nier Automata, everyone would have said, oh yeah, this is a gooner game. But since there's all this clown world controversy with Stellar Blade, everyone wants to prop it up. It does not deserve shit. It's not that great of a game. It's fun, but it's just not. The characters are dull as dirt. The main character is dull and boring. Her design is just stale. I don't really care. There's some costumes that are pretty cool, but I think the fact that it's getting a crossover with Nier Automata is a benefit because finally Eve can look cool. Other than that, it's a very whatever game and it's forgettable. I thought it came out last year. It came out this year. Again, I don't have a lot of favorable opinions of Stellar Blade, but I don't think it's a bad game. But I just don't think it's worth the praise. To say that it's going to get snubbed is insane. I can't imagine this game being good at the things it would be nominated for. The music is just... there's some tracks that are good, but a lot of it's just like... It's like, okay, like... Meanwhile, you pop in the Nier Automata soundtrack, you're booming. You're fucking seeing like, oh, fucking Song of the Ancients. Oh, fucking oh man, Crumbling, the one that plays at the beginning, like Crumbling theme, like whatever, like Route C, the intro to Route C when you're like leaving the bunker and it's exploding. That song, you're telling me that song is dull? You're wrong.
That's gonna be crazy if Dragon Age Veilguard gets pushed into like Game of the Year contention when the common gamer is saying it's not good and it didn't even sell well.
But did these people play the game? Like, this is the thing that DSP would shame people for, by the way. All the people are saying the game is bad, they didn't play it. And this dude is like, yeah, a lot of people say the game is bad, but did they play it? What if I played it and ended up loving the game? I've seen people play the game and say it's not that bad and it's actually pretty fun. Like, a lot of people have different opinions on this fucking game.
Well, if you guys don't know, I think they're saying that it sold something like, I think they were saying it sold, what was it, 10 million? It didn't sell that much, and they were saying it needs to sell like 4 times more copies to even be in the realm of profitability.
I'm questioning a lot of sales. There's a lot of like stuff fluffing this number around. One was saying, oh, I have an insider buddy that told me it's really low and this and that, and it's like, what kind of source is that? You might as well say, trust me, bro. So I would not trust any source, especially coming from him who doesn't even cite the source.
So a game that's not selling, and in general, people who bought it don't really like it.
Why does sales determine what could be game of the year? I can make the best game on the planet, everyone would love it, and sell one game. Does that mean that it's not a good game? This is not like a good argument to make.
That's going to become a Game of the Year contender, supposedly, right?
I hope
that's just crazy to me.
I hope it wins. I hope it wins.
Is it only 1 million? Holy shit, I thought it was 10 million. Someone says, no, it just broke 1 million in sales. That's crazy.
Source?
Anyway,
Source?
So this year, number 1, DLCs and remakes are now eligible for Game of the Year. Number 2, the jury voting for Game of the Year is hidden. We don't know at all.
Oh my god,
who
dude!
The jury voting.
He's struggling. He's like, oh, look at this. But here it says like winners are determined by a blended vote between the voting. Okay, so it does combine it. Okay, I'm wrong, but whatever. Public fan voting 10%. Fans can vote for their favorite game on the Game Awards. In China, fans can vote on the winners via Bill. Okay. Fan voting includes this Wednesday. Okay.
For Game of the Year is hidden. We don't know.
He's struggling. Look at this. He keeps picking the same fucking image.
The jury is. They hid it, and they're not saying this year who it is.
Oh man, he had a hard time understanding. He thought that was the tweet that showed the hidden jury, but it was Vara. It was Vara that was hiding the jury. Whatever.
And then on top of all of that, okay, just to put the icing on the cake, just to put the cherry on top of this shit sundae that is the Game Awards at this point, okay? If you're not aware, this just happened. Jeff Keighley is attempting to trademark the term Game Awards with the U.S. Patent Office. If this goes through and he gets a patent on Game Awards, it means no one else will be able to host an award show with the words Game Awards in it.
He's emailing
of any
fans
scope.
And
like, if he gets this patent,
I
literally can't say, it's DSP's Game Awards for 2024. He could actually hit me and say, no, I own the patent. I'm going to sue you. Take down your video. Take down your stream.
But he's patenting Game Awards. He is not patenting DSP's Game Awards. But joke's on Jeff, I'm calling mine Video Game Awards, so what an idiot. I'm going to say mine is the Video Game Awards. I'm going to try to gaslight everyone to think that his Game Awards are like board games, mental games, dumb shit no one cares about. So that way they'll watch my Video Game Awards. That's going to be the meta. And then I'll patent that and then he can get it. Then he's gonna be stuck with a worthless patent that says, "Yeah, you can only talk about games." And I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna talk about video games. He got him.
You would have to say Game of the Year awards. You would have to say best games countdown. You would literally
He does
have to change.
You know, he does that though. He calls them DSP's Game of the Year countdown. So this is like a nothing issue for him personally.
The title of this. You understand? How crazy is that? This reminds me, if you remember years ago.
Okay, I don't care about fucking defined.
They actually tried. So basically what they tried to do, anyone who made any React or whatever you want, you can't call it a React social media. By the way, it's all staged. It was literally proven to all be staged content. It was never real reacting at all. It was all actors acting in a certain way that was scripted.
Oh yes,
okay,
the actors.
So they're filthy rich from this content.
Okay,
now they want to make it so no one else can ever make React content ever. So what happened was cancel it. It isn't anymore. And from what I'm to understand, they actually had to sell their company off.
Wow! Right? But my God,
in this case, why are you trying to patent something that's general? The Game Awards. Like, dude, you should be happy.
You should be happy.
Literally, you should.
I love DSP telling other people that they should be happy.
Be happy that people even watch your show. You came out of nowhere. You were a games journalist that was covering things like E3 and shit. And then somehow you came on to money. Don't ask me how he came on to his money. It's weird that he's a games journalist. And the
oh my God, dude. He doesn't understand how it fucking works. He networks with a lot of people. He communicates with people. Like, that's why I've seen a lot of people say a lot of positive things about Jeff, because they probably have good relations with him. Just because, like, you don't like how he runs his business doesn't mean that he's a shitty person, like, to other people. And he does all this stuff to get money because he just wants to do it that way. That's why he makes all these deals. Again, he acts as if Jeff Keighley is some kind of billionaire. But this dude isn't, because if he was, he wouldn't need these sponsorships.
Money to finance shows. But he starts financing this Game Awards, and he starts doing Summer Game Fest. And he just so happens to do it right place, right time, where E3 is floundering and dropping the ball and flubbing it all, and he picks up the reins for E3 and basically shows that they don't need to exist anymore. So now he gets all this newfound attention and a big positive push from the gaming community.
Think about it.
And good on him. You know, right place, right time. That's the same as my story. You know, I didn't do anything that I feel.
Oh my God, the delusion. He's just like me for. DSP, please just drink some bleach.
Right, whatever. I was just at the right place at the right time, making improv commentary videos on YouTube over gameplay, and it took off, and it inspired a hell of a lot of people to make that style of content over the years, and here I am 16 years later, still able to make a living doing it, and I'm very grateful for that. But hell, if I tried to do that 5 years ago, I would have failed. If I tried to do it 10 years ago, I would have failed. I feel like he was just completely right place, right time, and somehow had the money to do it. I don't know if he found investors who just believed in him or whatever.
Bruh, you've seen how, like, there's a picture of him with Doritos and Mountain Dew for a fucking reason.
But here he is, running the Game Awards every year. He's very much trying to make it the Oscars of gaming, right? And he wants that notoriety. Who knows if he'll get it? And he wants to now patent it. And now people are flipping out. They're like, no, you can't do that. If you do that, you're saying no one can ever have a Game Awards?
You can't do that.
Yeah, a lot of people covered the story as well. A lot of people covered the story as well.
I always like that meme, though. That meme will never die in my eyes. Even if Jeff owns it and he like, and usually once like someone like Jeff or like a brand adopts it, it kills the meme. I still would laugh. I would still laugh.
Where is this from? I think this is an old meme.
Yeah.
That looks old to me, right?
No
like,
shit.
Old-ass meme.
Oh my God.
But people are not too happy about this at all. Yeah, I don't know. So basically, so there's three things going on with these Game Awards, right? It's like, wow. All at once. It's like the perfect storm. I wonder what's going to happen. So tomorrow, all right, we're going to have The game nominees for Game of the Year, all the nominees will be announced tomorrow. On this show, I will cover that for you because it's coming out 9 a.m. So we can do thorough coverage of the Game Award nominees tomorrow on the Level 1 podcast. We'll go through them one by one. We'll see if we agree or not. Personally, I feel like a lot of the games this year were underwhelming. Maybe some people disagree. I think the shoo-ins for Game of the Year are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Silent Hill 2 Remake, right? Maybe Astrobot could be a good contender in there. A lot of people are saying Black Myth Wukong. I disagree. But if you really like the game, I can understand why that would be a Game of the Year contender for you. Some people are saying Stellar Blade. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Stellar Blade is worth it. From everything I've seen of the game, it just doesn't look like it was anything special. People were just drooling over a woman. It's pretty ridiculous. It doesn't, it's Bayonetta. It's the same as fucking these other games.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but
curious,
I mean, visually,
sure. People are going to actually nominate and what's going to be.
I think there is something fun about the gameplay.
I'll tell you right now, Veilguard.
But I don't think it's a great game.
If they put fucking Veilguard in there,
it's like a 7 out of 10.
They're out of their minds. Like, no one likes Veilguard at all.
It's
a very underperforming, underwhelming game. Even me, I'm not shitting on the game, and I'm 7-8 hours in, and I'm just kind of
because he doesn't want to stand up for a different opinion unless he really likes it,
right?
But what if they really like the game and they think it's worthy of Game of the Year?
Shadow of the Erd Tree in there because DLCs are eligible. Listen, I'm actually not opposed to that. Shadow of the Erd Tree was quite good. It was like Elden Ring.
So then why are you whatever?
It was basically like the fan service ending to Elden Ring. Give everyone a zillion new weapons, right? Because everyone just wants zany weapons. So give everyone a zillion zany weapons.
You're a fucking spam.
And just toss them at a bunch of cool bosses, and there you go. That's Shadow of the Erd Tree.
You're not
right?
real.
So I liked it. I don't know if it's Game of the Year for me, but I definitely liked it. But I could understand why it would get a nomination. But I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. It's going to be pretty crazy tomorrow, all right? So I hope that tomorrow will be an interesting day here on the show. We'll have a lot to talk about, okay?
Wow,
so tomorrow it is definitely, Game Awards discussion day, okay?
Oh, yes.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so now allow me to do shout-outs, and I apologize that I took this long to do them because I wanted to get through that.
Where does this
want me to do?
A little bit?
I have to play stuff that people want.
Oh my god, I think this is where I went.
Obviously, it's meant that you come back and do it later or whatever. But outside of that, I thought Metaphor was absolutely paid $10. Stop showing up to the streams and stop supporting them.
Oh, man.
All due respect, the whole "there's no games coming out" thing sucks to hear when Rebirth and Metaphor were skipped. Rebirth and Metaphor were not skipped.
Metaphor was skipped. He only played the demo. I don't consider that
now, listen,
game.
Please, with all due respect,
I don't consider that
insulting to you at
not
all.
skipping. He played the
what
demo. They skipped the full release.
Not factually accurate. Nah.
He's right about
at all.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. He didn't skip it. He dropped it.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
At a very convenient part, by the way. I'm not gonna let it go.
I played for 20...
He was right. Like, if he played, 30 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, he would have made it to, the beach segment, where they go and get bathing suits, they go to an island, and all this other stuff, and suddenly, he just so happens to decide, I don't want to play this anymore. Yeah, I know why he didn't want to play it anymore. He didn't want the Tifa enjoyers to get their day. He was scared of Tifa. That's what it is. Aerith is, safe, whatever. Aerith is Aerith. Okay. But Tifa, I mean, that he was scared. He wouldn't know how to handle it. He would pop there and be like, oh god, Cat, I'm sorry, and then what's gonna happen after that? Cat's gonna have to get the belt.
1 hours. I checked the other day. I played 21 hours of it. All right, and after 21 hours, people stopped showing up to the streams and stopped supporting them. I had a stream of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth where we couldn't even bring in 150 viewers, and I made $10.
You should be happy.
And it was a 3-hour gameplay segment.
He says this, but you know what this fucker says all the time when the games he's enjoying get low support? Well, I get to balance this with another game that's successful. Why didn't he just balance Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with a game that was making him a lot of money? No. And the other funny thing, I'm gonna bring it up yet again. DSP said when he put the game on hiatus, he said it was going on hiatus because he wanted to play Elden Ring or the DLC, and then after that he'd go back to it. And every time someone asked him to play the game, he conditioned them to assume he's gonna go back to it, thus making them stop asking for it. And then when he stopped Elden Ring, he said, "Huh, no one asked for Final Fantasy. No one really seemed to care, man." And then that slowly shifted to it got no support and all this other bullshit. Because DSP did not want to see Tifa in a bathing suit. Because he would be scared that Cat would beat him with a belt again. And he doesn't want that to happen.
I tried. Really, I did. People refused to show up for RPG.
Again, he made a tweet saying, "I don't know where people got the misinformation that I was dropping the game. I'm not gonna drop the game. I'll play the game. I'll beat it even if it takes me all year or whatever the fuck." He said that, and then he dropped it. How does he do it?
RPGs. Now you're talking about Metaphor. I love Metaphor. To me, out of all the games I played this year, Metaphor is my RPG of the year. I'm serious. The 12 hours I played of Metaphor were a delight. I loved the gameplay. I loved the art style. The story was getting incredibly interesting. Everything in the game was good. I think I had one complaint, and that was that the optional dungeon was too tough. And it's obviously
it means a lot when I like it because I don't like the medieval setting, but I'm loving Metaphor. Thus, it is a good game. But DSP, he has this weird ass fucking hard on for medieval fantasy bullshit, Game of Thrones nonsense, and that ain't me, man.
That you come back and do it later or whatever. But outside of that, I thought Metaphor was absolutely, positively outstanding. Okay?
Okay.
Seriously. And I played it for 12 hours, the demo. So basically, I played a good first chunk of it through the intro.
You played this also before you started co-streaming on Kick,
I couldn't hold 200 viewers. I didn't even get $50 in support. What do you want me to do?
This was before the stream.
Play stuff
but whatever.
People want to see and are willing to show up, watch, and support. Because this is my job. I know it's confusing because gaming in general is entertainment. And it's meant to be something you do as a hobby or relaxation. For me, it is, but it's also my job. I have to do things that people want to see. It's my work. Things that people are willing to pay for so that I can make a living. People will not show up, support, and pay for RPGs right now. I don't know what changed there, because they used to. But now they don't. My attendance has been very low, and the support has been very low every time I've touched an RPG this year. And it's every RPG, too, just for the record. Like a Dragon, Final Fantasy VII, Dragon's Dogma, Metaphor.
Okay, look, right? He got $54. He could have gone $50 for Call of Duty last night, but he cried enough for people to, like, show up and give him money. But he'd still play that game regardless. Metaphor gets $54. Well, guys, this game sucks. And then, like, look at this. Look at this fucking corny ass. DSP wants to play Metaphor, but probably shouldn't. His thoughts is you should drink some bleach.
Or now Veilguard, like every RPG I've attempted to play in 2024 has had the same issue. So you can try to speculate what the issue is. I've already tried that, but I can't make people show up.
Remember, guys, not every stream needs to be a winner.
Games like Call of Duty.
It's okay for us to not hit the goal.
Street Fighter 6, right?
Until it's a game.
They even show up for my podcast today. We have 372 people on the show. We have, I think, around 30 people over on Kick. Oh, almost 40 here to hang out with me and have a good time. For example, take a look at what happened with Baldur's Gate 3. With Baldur's Gate 3,
it got carried by one dude.
Something like 4 months, I played the game. Over 200 hours, right? It was one of the longest playthroughs I've ever done. Views were down. Ad revenue was way down. Man. But some people did show up and actually support the playthrough, so I kept playing it. Okay?
this dude bellyached the entire time, and then when people said, "Wow, this got support," he would yell at them. Now it got support.
It hurt the channel though. It really did. Me playing that game as long as I did literally hurt this channel. It was a big shot, like boom, loss of views, loss of attention for like 3 months, and then I started bringing back action-based games, and people came back again, and it was a slow build back. It really was.
No, it
but
wasn't.
if more people were
like
apt to at least support the RPGs, then I would consider playing them, even with low attendance and low views. Because that's another thing. The videos don't even get views. Right now I'm playing a Veilguard. The videos don't even get 300 views. So,
oh man, because
not showing up
enough.
And not. So, if for example, people were like, "Yeah, well, if you keep playing Veilguard, we'll make sure you hit your support goal every stream," then I would keep playing it. Or same thing with, with Metaphor. If people had said, "Yeah, you're a support goal, don't worry," I didn't. I played Metaphor. It killed the streak. So, I'm not sure what else to say.
Well, what should I say?
I didn't not play the games or skip them. I did play them. They failed. I can't make certain genres of game be more popular with my general viewing audience. I just can't. I don't know what else to say. If people are showing up for certain games and not others, if people show up for the podcast, if people show up for the politics show, but they're not showing up for RPGs, I can't twist their arm and make them show up and support.
Of course you can. You're the guy.
I know it's sad because it's an entire genre, and I like the genre. It's one of my favorites. But I can't. This is gaming culture right now. Essentially, you understand? Culture's changing, and in general, what's happening is these RPGs are becoming more niche. They are. Why? Because there's too many.
Dude, they've been selling really good though. This dude just talked about sales. Metaverse all pretty good, and he's like sitting there like, "Oh yeah, man, like sales, man." RPGs are gonna end up being niche again. Fucking shut the fuck up. More people have been talking about Metaphor and saying it deserves Game of the Year. People are saying that it proves that we don't need action RPGs. We can still do turn-based and all this other bullshit. Come on, shut up.
These RPGs. Now there's 17 in a year. So now everyone goes and plays the one that they like, and now no one can agree on what's their favorite, and now they get less attention and less support, and no one cares about them anymore.
Oh my god, because this dude is pretty much saying there's no yellow paint for RPGs for him. He can't just find the game that everyone loves to play. Since everyone loves everything, that's bad. Fucking shut up, you little sheep. Man.
It's the same thing that would happen if there were too many first-person shooters, if there were too many fighting games.
This is like literally a wolf that's crying about not being a sheep.
And that's happened before, too.
Why can't I be a sheep? Why can't I follow the herd?
In my time as a YouTuber, at one point there was like 10 to 12 FPS games within a year. And what would happen is they would all kill each other, and then ultimately only Call of Duty would come out on top because no one could remember the others. There was just too many.
Oh my god.
Now there's no competition for Call of Duty. It's literally the only FPS in a year. So it's kind of the flip side now. But this is not the first time this has happened in the industry. I don't know if it's just game developers find it easier to develop RPGs, so they're pumping them out at a more rapid pace or something.
Oh my
god,
don't know. Fucking shut up.
If we had a Baldur's Gate 3 this year, I'd play it. There's no Baldur's Gate 3 this year. You should play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I did, it failed. Oh, you should play Metaphor. I did, it failed. Like, what do you want me to do? It's not that I didn't.
When he played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, he did it in the most boring way imaginable. Like, he just did a lot of the card game. Like, you could play that, it's a fun mini game, but this dude played it like it was the main mission. And it was very obvious to me that someone must have told him, "Hey Phil, later on in the game, there's a tournament and you'll need to be good at it, so like, do it now." So he focused on it so he could grind for the mid-chapter, even though you don't really need to. I didn't like focus on the card game a lot, and I still like taked my way through. Because at some point, Square probably thought, no one is probably gonna care that much, so we shouldn't punish the gamer for not being good at it that much, whatever. And you could also buy good cards, so like, it's whatever, anyone could beat it, because it's the required part of the game. Like, come on.
Play them. I'm playing Veilguard right now. Can't get viewers for it. Don't know what to say, guys.
Wow, you can't get views for a game people don't
let's see here.
Oh, wow.
Someone named Richard Burnell tipped $1 and said, cry. About what?
Cry.
Cry about what? I don't have anything to cry about. I'm good.
Wow, what a...
You cry in 2 cases. Actually, you cry in 3 cases. If you're really upset and sad, if you're really happy, or if you're in pain. Well, I'm not very upset and sad.
I mean, I guess you could say
I'm good, I'm happy, but I'm not like overwhelming,
joy.
overjoyed, and I'm certainly not in pain. So,
oh my god, dude. Cry whenever you want. Zaneed
made a point. Zaneed says, people like turn-based RPGs. Sadly, most people don't like watching them. And you know, I hate to say it, that's different than how it used to be. I used to be able to play.
Oh my god, no, it wasn't. This dude literally complained about how people did not turn up for RPGs for years. This has been a fucking thing.
Well, now it seems like people want certain genres of game, and then they want me to do other kinds of content.
Oh my god.
Again, it's not that there's no demand and no interest. It's that the interest is just not for RPGs this year.
Not for you.
That's it. That's the one genre that's failed. Like, I've done other... Look, think about it. I really have. Everything worked but RPGs. Alternative Game Awards, the real Game Awards? No, because they're just grifters. They're not the ones to do it. Dude, Craig is so out of touch with video games, his video game show failed. He rebooted side-scrollers, and it flopped miserably.
Like DSP playing RPGs, it flopped miserably. Yes.
He had to turn it into a fucking political show. Why would I want him in charge of the Game Awards? That's insanity. That's just as out of touch as anyone else. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to talk about someone doing it just for the money, that's someone doing it just for the fucking money. And by the way, he's done shit like this before. Before he rebooted side-scrollers, he did this initiative where he was raising money, where he was...
I vaguely remember this, and the only reason why I vaguely remember it is because guess what? DSP praised and plugged it for Stuttering Craig. Like, he was like, wow, Craig is doing this really cool thing, or whatever the fuck. That's the only way I remembered it, was because he did praise him for it, and then he never talked about it and said, wow, it was a scam, guys. He never even thought about it. But he didn't mock other people for not calling him out for it when he was part of the problem, if you think about it.
Gonna do this way to promote people and their content and stuff. It was this weird thing. I forgot what it was called. But, you know, as I was searching the internet about the guy before I was on their show, I found this weird thing, and basically no one brings it up. It's like this weird thing that people swept under the rug. He did a big fundraiser campaign. It was one of those websites, raise money for this, right? And he raised thousands of dollars. He's like super crazy, man,
right?
Where people were paying to be. I guess what was supposed to happen is you pay into it.
But why didn't he bring it up? You know, this dude is such a piece of shit, right? He got Starting Craig on a stupid, dumb fuck interview show. And he never brought this up. But now he's saying, why doesn't anyone talk about it? Fucker, you had him on your show! He had him! This is like Barbara Walters. She has Donald Trump on her show, right? And then he leaves, and Barbara Walters goes the next day and says, so I did some research on Donald Trump, and I found some interesting stuff out, but no one's talking about this. Bitch, you had him on your show. This guy had him, and all he wanted to fucking get out of fucking Craig. He wanted to say, I'm sorry, Phil. This dude wanted a power trip so bad. He wanted all these people to grow up because this dude's apology fetish. He must have gotten tired of getting off to people emailing him apologies that he wanted to flex on other people. He wanted living people in his face come on his show and say, I'm sorry, Phil. And he can fucking go off stream, run down to Kat and be like, Kat, I got Starting Craig to apologize, baby. Oh, yeah. And that's the only validation he has in life now, is getting apologies. And then when people stop going to his fucking interview, suddenly, oh, all these people are pussies because they don't want to, like, talk to me. But, dude, I thought you wanted to do more than just talk about drama on your show. Why did it matter that they have to apologize? It's almost like these people wanted these people to come on so that they can, like, promote how much of a normal duty is and how they apologize or whatever the fuck that he was seeking from them. But when it came to actually calling someone out for shady business practices, he said nothing. And now, in hindsight, he's like, why doesn't anyone talk about this? Wow, you're so cool, man.
promoted, so you're supposed to be able to get like, oh, this is the way it's gonna beat YouTube and Twitch. You're gonna be able to get discoverability if you join this program or whatever. So a bunch of people paid in, and he just canceled it. He just canceled the whole thing.
Why did you ask him about that?
And then no one really like questions him about it or anything.
You had him on your show. Why did you question him about it?
This is not the first time this guy has like a big idea.
Well, it wasn't part of the show. It was me
for
getting
something,
down to business about
it doesn't
why
work.
you said I was a grifter.
You tell me, give me literally one reason why you think that Stuttering Craig has the notability, dependability, or track record that he could run a Game Award. Seriously. Name one fucking thing. This guy's been out of touch with video games for like a decade.
It is so funny he's saying all this when he said right before he went on his little show, I love your content, Craig. I watched all the episodes. I watched all the podcasts. I love your show, Craig. I love you. And now he's like, he was always a grifter. He always scammed. Man, this dude. But guys, if people did that to him, he would say, "Oh, they're backstabbers. I can't trust anyone." But this guy literally pretended to love Craig, and then when Craig said, "Phil, I think you are down from the rafters. You hurt me, Craig, and my fan base." This is what he accused Howard of.
Let's see here. Luthes did a $5 Canadian super chat. Says, you skipped Rebirth. I watched your streams. You hit your goal and everyone except for 2. Yeah, the last 2. When I stopped playing it.
But that was just
You're
2.
Correct. Actually, he's dead on correct. At first, Rebirth was
What kind of pattern did form? It was 2 streams. He had 2 unsuccessful streams in the past and still played those games, by the way. But this game got 2. Fuck this game. But again, literally the context of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, he literally said, I'm gonna put this on hiatus because Elden Ring is coming and I want to finish it. But now he's just saying, well, see, no one cared. Shut up, man.
Support. That's absolutely correct. I remember the first few streams had good attendance and everything. And then basically when we got to around the teens of viewership, like around 15 hours in, the entire attention dropped off completely and people stopped showing up and engaging and supporting. The last stream, I seriously remember this, okay?
Seriously.
The last stream. This is $3 Canadian. Isn't that like $3 American? I should test, but the last stream of
you should test something, all right.
Whatchamacallit? The last stream of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Sorry, because I'm trying to do 2 things at once.
Wow!
Here, let me do this first.
Wow, this dude is like, I made $10. 50. Last second of the video, still $50.
Before I get distracted, I can't do this. The next contribution. So the final stream that I did of the final stream that I did of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had less than 200 viewers, okay? Had almost no support. I swear it was like a $15 stream. And on top of all of that, Final Fantasy VII
I gotta hear this.
Rebirth.
Very carefully.
Had less than 200 viewers, okay? Had almost no support. I swear it was like a $15 stream.
15.
And on top of all of that, get this, the chat.
15. If he said 50, this was, by the way, during the time he considered $50 a success, by the way. I think that should be kind of highlighted a little bit. He said during this time, he was aiming for $50 a stream. And that would be considered a success. No way did he say that as Cope, by the way, obviously. But he said this was $50.
Tracking, attacking those enemies several times today. The lock-on would move, and then I couldn't aim for the right enemy. I thought I was hitting the same 21 hours in. And I'm sure there's way more people actually saying if you do the entire game and all the content, it's like 100 hours. And I'm like, another 100-hour game, huh? Like, oh. Another 100-hour gaming experience. Seriously.
Right?
It's like, well, Anyway, guys, thank you again.
Okay, thought you were gonna say, I'll get back to this in the future. Whatever.
Stopped paying attention to the game and me entirely. I was trying to talk to them. They literally weren't talking to me. They were acting like I wasn't there. And it became a sports chat. The entire room was talking about sports. And I turned to everyone. I said, what the fuck are you doing? This is a video game stream.
You just be
this
like,
is not
oh,
your open
you
chat
like
room
the
to start
Baltimore
talking about
Ravens?
sports.
They're pretty cool.
Like, I get it. You don't like the game. But this is not basketball chat or whatever. I think we were in the midst of, like, March Madness. And people were talking about the basketball games. Right? And I was like, this is not
I'm
what
not
this
gonna
is
try to
for.
engage with you guys. You try to engage with me,
stop.
bitch.
And
right?
people, oh, let's meme that Phil doesn't want sports in his chat. No, it's not the case. It's that I'm here to put out a gameplay stream for you. I'm doing the game right now, and literally no one's paying attention whatsoever. So what you're saying is false.
Then why didn't you try to incorporate that in your
I gave it a fair shot. 21 hours. By the final stream, no one cared about the game.
But this dude has zero interest in really talking to his chat in any real way. Like, he doesn't have to, like, take them out on dates or anything, obviously, but he can at least care a little bit more about what the chat's talking about than, like, however the fuck he talks to them now.
It's about. I'm a public streamer. I'm not streaming for myself. I'm streaming for a public consumption. The public doesn't want to consume it. You know? And you should know, if you were there, you saw it yourself. I'm not making any of this up whatsoever. You know that, right?
You know that, right?
So there you go. All right. Bloom Kid with a $5 super chat. To be fair, you dropped or most of the best games. He must have had a grammar error.
A brain
To be
fart.
fair, you dropped most of the best games this year. Not trying to be negative, just being honest. Well, that's a subjective thing to say. For example, if you're talking about Metaphor, I think I believe you. I mean, I only played 12 hours of it, but I loved it.
This dude is afraid to agree with his chat. Like, the chat could say the sky is blue. Like, I guess the sky is blue.
I don't know if I agree with you there.
You know, sometimes it's cloudy.
Strong, but once I started doing
that night, it turns a different color.
Considered to be the open world content to
He's
add
so afraid to
game,
agree with
I didn't
them.
think it was that good. The first
it's
open
so
world segment
weird.
was good. The second
it's
open
really
world
like
segment was
he's
identical.
reading his chat and they're all talking about fucking weird extremist shit, but it's like not, you know? He's so terrified to agree with them.
And I was like,
it's like he's afraid that if he agrees with his chat, he'll be seen as a Nazi.
It's gonna be the whole game, and everyone confirmed that's the whole game.
But it's
you
like instead of saying like
that's pretty good for like 3-4 hours, and then you get an open world that's just
really
repetitive and boring.
Shit
and it just alternates
hurt your image to agree
that doesn't
with.
make a game of the year for me. Sorry, you know, it just doesn't. So, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe Metaphor. But outside of that, what else did I play and drop? You think Dragon's Dogma 2? I don't know about that. And as for Black Myth Wukong, again, I'm sorry.
Okay, doesn't like Black Myth.
The game broke apart and it got to the point where even though and everyone was watching my content, I was still in that, you know, 1 month of huge boosted attention because I was on Kino Casino. People were still watching me for that kind of drama content and stuff. So it wasn't even that, you know, I didn't have that attention. It was there. Just people didn't like the game, man. Here we go. You ready? It's time to be honest. Ready for this? The game can only be as good as what it is when it was made.
Right,
and
here we go.
There's some viewers. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Some viewers.
It's time to be honest. Ready for this?
Let's
some
be
people
honest.
need a dose of honesty. You're gonna get it this morning
guys.
from me.
Honesty alert. We're gonna get honest. We're getting honest now.
Okay, you ready?
Honesty side.
There are people out there that are so beloved, content creators, that literally people will do anything to watch them. It doesn't matter if they're playing a game. It doesn't matter what game they're playing. It doesn't matter if they're just sitting here talking about their day. It doesn't matter if they're talking about the news or politics.
They're chilling.
It doesn't matter if they're talking about their finances. It doesn't matter if they have a gripe and they're bitching about something. It doesn't matter if they're taking a shit or blowing their nose. People will still watch and send them money. You understand that? I'm not that person. When people come to Dark Side Phil, they come for different reasons.
He wishes
Some
he
people
was.
cherish my opinions on video games. Okay? Some people find
what
certain
opinion
content that I put out
is there to cherish? You watch him talk about the fucking Game Awards, and his opinions are garbage. I would listen to my mom about games before I listen to him.
Watch me to hate me, right? But I am not of that level of popularity where I can just play any game and people will watch it regardless. People will actually come to my streams if I'm playing a good game and watch in droves and enjoy. And if I'm playing a bad game, they go, wow, this game sucks, and they'll leave. You get that? That's just because, and again, I'm not the kind of guy that lies. Maybe if the entire time that I'm playing a game, I'm like, this is the best game ever. I can't believe how good this is. Wow, it's so good. Maybe then I'd retain more of an audience for certain kinds of games. But if I'm honest about a game, right, like a Black Myth Wukong started off very strong.
I love that he keeps phrasing honesty as being negative. You can't, so saying I love this game, that's not being honest. You're just saying you love the game. Being honest, like, this game sucks. Come on, man.
Quite impressed with the game. And then it fell apart halfway through. The moment
why does honesty always be around
negativity? 3, the game is boring as dirt.
It's so weird.
They fucked it up. And that's on them. They didn't have to do that. But they didn't know how to build a world that was interesting or a world that was well designed.
Like, he learned the wrong lesson when you watch a cartoon and it teaches you the lesson of being honest. He learns the wrong lesson through it somehow. Like, oh, see, this guy was saying bleach is good, and he says that we should bleach in everything, and then we found out he was lying to us, and that is wrong. The lesson of the story, we should be honest and say bleach is bad. But it's like, yeah, obviously the lesson is that bleach is bad, and we should be honest. But it's not that honesty is negative. It's like he learned that when you're being honest, you're being negative or harsh or critical about something. That's not always the case.
FromSoft does. They did manage to emulate certain things FromSoft does, but they didn't really perfect anything different, nor did they do a good job of making that world interesting past World 3. Once you hit World 3, like, this is fucking boring now. And everyone agreed. Everyone watching agreed. So because I'm honest, now the interest falls off for the game. I could have lied. I could have said the game was absolutely amazingly outstanding, the best game I've ever seen, kissed its butt in every fucking direction. But that's not who I am. And it's not.
But he likes Metaphor. Why can't he do that with Metaphor?
16 years of content
creation.
Isn't that weird? I'm not going to change overnight.
He says, I can't do this about Black Myth Wukong, but he can't play Metaphor and say, wow, this game is so good. Whoa.
And become the yes man so that I can receive bags of cash in every direction and get tons of extra viewers. That's what tons of content creators do and have done, and that's the path they've taken. That's not the path that I've taken.
Get that bag.
So I'm not the kind of guy that can sit here and play any game and be successful. That's just because I'm too truthful, right?
He's too truthful.
I can't make a game that's actually quite boring, problem. He's too truthful. Unless I just sit there ripping on it, but people will laugh for 5 minutes, but then they want to see something else, right? So I'm sorry, and in the case of certain games, like Metaphor, I'm sorry, I really tried. I loved it. Every moment I played it, I told you how much I liked it.
How did he try? He just played the game.
Get people to like it. I don't know what to say. Again,
the audience what did he try? What was him trying?
And it sucks, because how is it that now that Metaphor, I'm not playing it, and I agree with you, it probably is the best RPG of the year. How is it that now people have an issue with this? Well, where were you when I was playing Metaphor?
Dude, why don't you play it now? Why not? Because maybe back then, people didn't want to watch it because they were playing it themselves. People have beaten the game by now. Why don't you play it now, then? Because now these people who have played the game may want to see you react to the things they know is coming up. Half the time, people may watch that because they want to see how you're going to react to things. But this dude, like, when he played God of War 2018, he said that a lot. Oh, people are gonna, play the game ahead of me, so they're not gonna watch the stream live. And now that's not even a possibility.
Were you on the stream? Were you supporting it? If you weren't, that's why I'm not playing it right now. So what do you want me to do? Sorry that I'm a normal guy. I'm not a normal guy. Some ginormous guy who makes thousands of dollars every stream he puts out, and then I have the flexibility to play whatever I want. And it's kind of like, what it is? It's fuck you money. It's, well, fuck you, I don't care what anyone says or does. Doesn't matter how popular a game is. I can play whatever I want.
Fuck you,
I don't
money.
have.
I don't have fuck you money.
Right now, Dragon Quest III Remake just came out this week. You notice I didn't even mention it? This is a JRPG. But it just came out this week. An old game. People are saying it's so good. It's so good. Some people said I'm even liking it better than Metaphor. Some people have said that. Now, I don't know if I would like it better.
I believe that.
I know I love Dragon Quest. I would love to play the remake. I didn't even talk about it. Why?
Because I know this audience loves old games more than new games.
You know what I'm saying? I just know it. So I'm not even gonna try to like.
Because this
mess
dude
with
is
that
so fucking.
and
He
get
has such a
people's,
heart for
you know,
legacy media. Like this is so
hopes up
old
or
that
whatever.
it's
Why would I?
good.
It
Slurp,
sucks,
slurp,
but
slurp.
it's just
So lame.
reality.
Just a lame personality.
All right, and sometimes in life you just have to focus on reality.
It's like how you'll let guilty gear.
To Bloom,
you know, it's trying this fun when you know about fucking bitch whispering in your ear about XR being the best.
I grew up playing RPGs. I love them, but they're apparently
but in reality,
not
all guilty gear is
working
good. So you know,
for the audience.
I win either way.
Tried, and they fail.
I'm a winner.
I can't bring in viewers. I can't retain viewers, and I don't make any money. And this is my life and my business. I have to be responsible with what I do in the content that I put out.
Or my
I don't
family
know
will
how else
die.
to say it. No other content creator is going to tell you this, by the way. You understand that?
Yeah,
Every
because they
other content
probably
creator will
want
make
to.
excuses.
Oh my god,
I'm
dude!
honest with my audience because I feel like I've earned that
I'm
distinction
dying.
in 16 years. You know,
I'm dying.
Other content creator is going to tell you this, by the way. You understand?
And we go into immediately being negative to someone else. Why is this dude so negative? He's like, I'm not negative, I'm a positive guy. But all the time, he's like, well, these other people, they're not gonna tell you this because I'm honest, unlike them. Like, how the fuck do you know their life situation? My god, man.
Stand that. Every other content creator will make excuses. And
They'll make excuses.
I'm honest
Fuck
with
you,
my audience
man.
because I feel like I've earned that distinction in 16 years. You know.
No, you're
I'm
nothing.
here
You're in
telling you
shit.
these things. It's because I want to be transparent with you and because I care enough
Okay,
about
fine.
you.
Be transparent. Where's Kat? Bring Kat up. Bring Kat in. What's her medical issue? It's not like an excuse, right? Like, he's lying. I think he's just making an excuse about why Kat didn't want to play Beyond Two Souls. I think she I think she hates him. I think she doesn't want to be in the same room with him because he's a fucking piece of shit. And, you know, he's making excuses. There's health issues. Yeah, right. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You know, maybe she was pregnant. Think about it. We haven't seen her. And that was in January we saw her. And then we never see her again. And then, like, he's suddenly having to take more days off and this and that. And then the fan, I think this is all just a cover for baby Burnell. I think we got a baby Burnell on the way. And he's going to say, there's no baby. Oh, you would probably hear him cry if I had a baby. Well, guys, I don't know. These all sound like excuses.
You and your feelings.
I'm honest, so I can say that.
Like,
I'm honest. Unlike these other people who are liars like Phil Burnell and will tell you all these excuses about life and how mystery health attacks happen or whatever the fuck. I'm honest because I'm telling you the truth. And you can believe me because I'm telling you can believe me. You know I'm honest because I said that and I have an automaton that's Kirby themed. I'm winning right now.
Playing the best games of the year. You may be correct. I can't confirm that because I haven't played them through. You very well may be correct, but there's nothing I can do about that. I can't make audience action change. All I can do is put out content and see what you like and continue to play what you like and cut out what you don't.
This sounds like a pig almost.
So I don't even know what else to say about it. Listen.
This is the way you do it.
The way to change an action you don't like, okay, is to take action yourself. If you like RPG...
What the fuck is the action to get you to play Metaphor support a shitty game like Dragon Age? This dude is saying like this game is not that good, so we should support Dragon Age. So then he can say, well guys, people support this game, and we'll still say you won't play Metaphor. Fuck off with this fake ass advice.
RPGs, tune in and support the RPG streams.
Boo.
Watch the RPG videos after the fact.
Boo.
That's how you get more RPGs in the rotation. Don't you think that if people actually did attend and support the Metaphor streams that I would be playing the game right now? Of course I would. I might have been done with it by now. Probably not, because you know me, I play so many games at once. But I would love to. Why do you think I did? I was ready to. I played almost the entire demo. It was like an hour left, and I quit, you know?
Yeah, you can fit it in.
I just don't even know what else to say.
You don't do a 1 hour stream.
It also could be very simple. Streaming in gameplay is oversaturated, right? When I play an RPG, my experience with that RPG isn't necessarily going to be much different than another person's. Maybe just a reaction to a story element or something, but for the most part, it's going to be very similar. As opposed to fighting games is 100% my level of skill, my level of input.
Yeah,
competitive games online like Call of Duty, exactly the same. Or Bloodborne. That's a challenging game. You get
okay, I don't give a fuck about Bloodborne.
Maybe there's just too many chill stream RPG streamers out there now, and they're much bigger than me.
Okay, sure.
Or it's because you played the demo, and the demo was out early before the game came out, so people didn't want to spoil.
What? A game that's story heavy? People didn't want to get spoiled? What?
If I didn't play the demo, I would have. Well, Phil, the reason people don't watch you play Metaphors is because you played it too late. Everyone was playing the demo and you didn't play it. So now you're behind it. No one cares. They've already played the game. I can play your game too. The excuse game is stupid. There's no excuses for this shit. It just is. Okay?
Oh, man.
So, okay. I don't really know what else to say.
He doesn't know. He has I don't know. Why did I feel
I've tried my best. And, it is what it is. If anyone else has some kind of insightful thing to say, I'm all ears. I just don't feel like there's enough insight, and you didn't, which is why I'm not playing RPGs. I'm trying.
Okay.
What's funny is these people can't even dispute it. Like, they know I tried to play the games. They know I gave them more than a fair shake. I can understand your frustration, but I don't know how you can blame me. That's what I don't get. Like, your frustration is warranted. I'm frustrated too. I like RPGs, and I can't play them right now.
People blame him. You can't take blame.
I don't understand how you could blame Darkside Phil for this when I've been trying so much.
Blame you. You guys didn't show up. It's your fault.
Like a genre of game, and it really is a genre at this point. It really is.
It's a
genre. Fatalis. Fatalis became a channel member this morning.
I mean, it is a genre. He is right about that, but it's not. It didn't just become a genre overnight. It was been a genre. RPGs have been a genre, dum-dum.
And then I received...
Okay, enough of this.
Liking System Shock Remake. I really was.
Yeah.
On my gaming PC. So it was me experimenting with numbers at that time. And System Shock Remake was not. See, Sparkle, the Sparkle Dog says, well, Num Nums, the Sparkle Dog says, I'm not blaming you. I wonder if people mainly watch action games because you rage. Maybe if you get more angry during RPGs. I don't know. I'm trying to help. Yeah,
he got angry during
in general.
Metaphor. I remember he got mad. He was
a lot of people watch me for different reasons. Some people are here for the rage. Some people are here for the perseverance.
Oh my god.
That you got people who've discovered me from all different avenues.
Now he loves
Bonchan.
Before he said it was
System Shock Remake will make you rage quit later in the game. Does it really become insanely difficult? Wow. Stuff Up properly says, the issue is you don't streamline games. You need to skip boring side quests and focus on main story. That doesn't mean rushing. You have no clue, man. You really
oh my god! This part? Okay, let's listen to this.
Clue. You do realize
this has been a long
criticism
the philosophy
of this guy that I used when I was first a YouTuber.
No,
you realize that, right?
No.
So from the years of 2009...
Wrong. This guy's wrong. He said back then he was rushing through side missions and rushing through games and all this stuff, and people were mad that he was skipping side content. He remedies that complaint by then just doing all side missions, or just enough to make you feel he's doing too many of them, to show that he's taking his time and enjoying it. Like, this is like telling someone, hey, you're running too fast, and then they respond with moving like a step an hour. And it's like, really, dude? You don't have to go that slow. It's like, you told me I'm going too fast. And then like you're gonna get punched in the face because you're being a stupid smartass for no reason.
I would say more like 2010 when I started doing this.
And you know, DSP is that guy. Actually is that guy. He is that guy. He's definitely that fucker where his parent or a teacher told him that, oh, don't do this. And like, oh, okay. And then he does something out of spite, and they're like, and they probably had murderous intent. He's that kind of guy that would just that would do something to respond to your criticism, and do it in the most extreme way that you're gonna be like, come on.
For a job through 2014-ish, I was someone who, when I played a game, my goal was to beat it as fast as humanly possible. I would buy a game, bring it home from GameStop, start playing it, play it. Within 2 days, I'd be completely done with it, skipping side content, rushing through just to get the playthrough done, and then I'd be on to the next game. I would be.
But guess what? The real reason he did that, you may think is because of the content. I mean, that's one reason. The other reason is to milk that GameStop money, because the GameStop will give you a decent deal only if you like trade in the game like within the launch window. So that's kind of why he did that, because he would have gotten the most money out of it doing that. He fell for the GameStop scheme because it's DSP. Of course he would.
Games so fast. Some weeks I would have 3 to 4 games to trade in at a time at GameStop, and they would back then stack the rewards you would get. Sometimes I would get back 70% of the value of a game.
Yeah, because you're doing it like within the launch. You're not doing it like
back immediately so they could resell
within
them
a year
at and make big profits.
This dude fell for the scheme.
Yeah, like that was what DSP was known for. Man, DSP is the guy who gets.
And then he hides it behind. This is what I was known for. This was my shtick. No, you did that because you wanted to milk GameStop. You're not fooling me. I have a working brain. Your fan base probably don't have brains anymore, but I see through your lies.
He beats it within 2 days. He's got a full playthrough up. You can watch the whole game from start to finish and judge for yourself if you want to play it. But you want to know what happened? At first it worked, and then here's what happened. Around 2013, 2014, everyone turned on me and said, you are the most lazy creator. You don't put any effort into your game playthroughs. You skip so much meaningful content. And then you don't know about it when you go to review a game. Sometimes you say
this is how fucking disingenuous this guy is about fucking video games. So people told that because it's like, if you see someone play that way and all this stuff, the fact that like if he truly did care about games and that's how he played them, let's say, he could just say, I like the game, I just wanted to beat it, man. I'm not like a fan of side content. Like that's a stance people have. But this dude crumbled so fast, like, okay, I'm gonna show them. Like, it's poser behavior. And this dude is gonna call other people posers. Like, this is why it's extremely ironic. This dude shits on fucking game journalists for being liberals or not being in touch with gamers. But this guy falls he fits perfectly in that category when it comes to not being out of touch. He falls that like a stone in water.
It wasn't good, but you missed most of the good content because it was side content. And then you say a game's a certain length, but it really isn't because you didn't do the side content. And you never really get a full picture of what a game is because you rush through too much because all you care about is money. You want to make that playthrough, get it out quick, get the views, make your money. So Phil, you're a greedy, low effort, lazy creator who only cares about money.
And that's true.
The criticism I got. So once I started to become a streamer,
and
I changed my philosophy entirely. And I said, from now on, we are now going to be doing full playthroughs. We're going to explore side
he's probably talking about like
fan
service streaming.
So then you get a full picture idea of what the game is. And people applauded me for it and liked the fact that I was taking my time with games and stuff like that. Right? But that was a while. And I think what it is gaming culture changes, man. It does. Gaming culture changes.
And guess what? You know what? This dude is falling into all these little pitfalls in his own little speeches, right? He says to so many people they've fallen behind the time, they fail to adapt, right? He's just saying that gaming culture changes and this and that now. And he's refusing to adapt to it to play metaphor. He's refusing it because he's still playing the way that people told him to play because he wants to be seen as a guy that cares about the game he plays. Because he cares so much about that perception, but he just doesn't want to just make a stream enjoyable. He wants you to think he's a gamer. This is why he loves pixel games so much, especially like established IPs like Dragon Quest, Street Fighter, and this and that, because he wants those gamer points. He wants people to be like, oh, he likes NES? Wow, he's a gamer.
So much is like, so I started off one way. I changed to be another way because everyone demanded it. Now it's years later, people are saying, go back to the old way again.
And you know what? This is so funny. From Mr. Pendulum Man. And the pendulum goes this way, and now it's all the way this way. Okay, so if the pendulum is now swinging the other way, why are you swinging with the pendulum? Like you say you do all the time with culture, dum-dum. Oh, no, you can't do that because you're an idiot.
I evolved over time. I changed as a person, as a creator. How do you go back? I'm supposed to forget everything that I just learned in the last 15 years and just go back to the beginning?
Oh
And the
my
funny
God.
part is it might actually work.
Why don't you just integrate what you learned today and the stuff back then? This dude is so stupid. He changes and then he just, but it's like not meaningful change or thoughtful. The changes is, Theo, I don't like you wearing, oh no, what's a good example? Well, whatever, you know what I'm saying. I don't need examples for everything. This dude just takes any mild advice, goes extremely the one direction with it, and then it's like that's how it is, and you can't just like it because I changed. Like just because you changed doesn't mean shit, dum dum.
Actually went back to the beginning and started acting like original Darkside Phil, it might actually work. But that's not who I am anymore. You understand?
So you could go back? Whatever.
You can't ask someone to change so much, then they change, and then they say, "Oh, well, we want you the old Phil back." Too late. It's too late.
This dude has he cannot think at all. At all. It's like, oh, if I go back, we're going all the way back, slurs and all. But it's like, you don't have to be this extreme about going one or the other. Why don't you just like, okay, so if people think that I'm playing too long in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'll just not do the side missions there and just do the main missions. Why not think like that? Or, okay, I'll do less side missions, or whatever. No! It has to be extreme! Either one way or the other, or you die! Fuck off!
Changed Phil. Now I'm older, I'm more mature, I'm a lot more mellow, I'm certainly not as angry as I used to be all the time.
Oh, fucking
right? I have different opinions on things. I can't go back to be 27-year-old Phil yelling at every game at the top of his lungs.
What year?
I'm a lot more mellow. I'm certainly not as angry as I used to be all the time. Right? I have different opinions on things. I can't go back to be 27-year-old Phil yelling at every game at the top of his lungs, rushing through every game to pump out videos for ad revenue. I barely even make any ad revenue. You know, it's definitely different
now. Dude, he cannot understand criticism. He can't.
With a $2 super chat.
And it's not hard to believe. The suggestion box highlights how bad this guy is at taking feedback. You need to like just talk to him like a fucking baby. And guide his way to thinking. He can't just read something and be like, I gotta think about this. No, why think? Why think?
RPGs will probably make a comeback on your channel. I mean, I wish they would. I'm being honest. I wish they would. I'm just as upset as you guys. I want RPGs and I can't play them and it sucks ass. It really does. I want RPGs back in the mix. I want RPGs to be a part of my key content. And right now, it seems like it can't be. And it sucks, right?
It just can't be. It can't be.
Well, I mean, I am in the middle of a resurgence, but the resurgence is not gameplay resurgence. The resurgence that I'm having is that people actually are listening to me and my opinions now. If I have an opinionated video to make about a topic, people listen to it. It's not, oh, that's Darkside Phil, throw that video out. It's,
throw the video out.
What does Phil have to say about this? It's a little interesting.
No, no. It's only interesting in the sense of like how dumb is it? Like, I can't believe the fucking politics stream he did. I'm still in awe of how dumb he was. And I'm not saying that I'm any better or that I'm some like super duper smart guy, but I feel to some degree more confident in what I know than what he knows. You know? Like, this dude is so stupid. And he's teasing this new politics stream this week, and he mentions Trump derangement syndrome, and it's like, I already know it's gonna be even dumber than the last. This dude is so stupid. I just can't fucking believe that he's 40 years old. Let alone alive.
About it, different communities and things, right? Very different. It used to be, oh, Darkside Phil, that clown of the internet, no one cares about him or anything he has to say. It's a little different now. That's a good feeling, right? And now I got people who come by for my different kinds of content. That's excellent, right? Yes.
And he claps! He claps for that! People come for my content!
It's a different kind of resurgence.
Wow, this dude is literally a seal!
Back in the day,
these claps at this point, he's doing them unconsciously.
20 minutes on a topic, and the video would get hundreds of thousands of views. That happened many times. It's just those days are long gone, right?
Oh man, because you play games so boring. Again, he plays games in a specific way to not be made fun of. That's why he loves being magic builds, projectile
All right, guys,
spammers.
we definitely have to end the show. Let's
that's why he doesn't want to play any other Street Fighter character.
Tomorrow's gonna be a heck of a show.
He doesn't want to play Cammy. He doesn't want to play Chun-Li. He doesn't want to try Luke. He doesn't want to try anything.
All of the Game Awards
he just wants to keep the boring characters he feels confident
I can't imagine how this one's gonna go. The Game Awards nominee, I feel like you're gonna have Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, and everyone's gonna lose their shit. I feel like you're gonna have Dragon Age Veilguard, and everyone's gonna lose their shit.
Everyone's gonna lose their shit!
And it's gonna be a shit show.
I hope
tomorrow
Dragon
will
Age
be the
wins.
shit show.
I'm going with Dragon Age.
Yeah, you should patent shit show awards.
Yeah, so people can think it's porn. But
or
people probably love it.
How about this? The liberal awards, the libbies. You call them the libbies.
God, fuck
Welcome
off.
to the libbies.
The libbies.
We're all the left-leaning media votes on awards that aren't in line with actually the common gamer, right?
Yeah, the common gamer loves
the libbies.
Loves a lot of shit.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching the Level 1 podcast.
All right, we're not done yet. We're not out of hell yet. We got the daily wrap. Again, this is a very sus video. It's 12 minutes, and I'm scared. I'm scared to watch this video. Let's fucking go. Let's get this over with.
Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Sunday, the 17th of November, 2024. A great streaming day. Although, there were some developments that I feel like everyone should be made aware of. Not necessarily awful developments or anything like that, but I feel like it's time to bring it up. So let's do it. Let's first of all recap everything that happened today.
All right.
Well, first off, we started today with a chill Level 1 podcast, recapping my day off yesterday with some updates about various different things, especially including my PC, which is having some problems. So I'm, excuse me, really hoping we can find a good deal around Black Friday / Cyber Monday for a new streaming and couch PC for me, because this thing is having hard drive issues and it's really on its last legs, I feel. So it is definitely time. Okay, but then we talked a lot about the Game Awards, because the Game Awards are in a lot of hot water for various different reasons. The fact that apparently this year they're including DLCs and remakes as, you know, Game of the Year and award contenders when they never were before. This year they are not listing who their jury is of people who are voting on games mysteriously, because they've always done so before. And lastly,
what if they're gonna wait until after
did you
the
know
awards?
That Jeff Keighley is trying to patent
a
big segment out? It was like,
okay, let's move on.
So after that, we started with my first. Really, what I'm noticing is attendance of my streams is based on the game. It's not really based on me. It's not really based on that. It's just the game. If the game is something more riveting to see me play,
he said this every time. This isn't a new discovery. It's the game. This game brings this idea. This game brings that idea.
People show up, and if it's not, then less people show up. Right? That just seems to be the pattern now.
That's been the pattern for years. You said this multiple times.
It went really well. We did a lot today. Like, it's gonna be hard for me to remember. We went to the abandoned old workshop. So got the umbilical cord piece.
He's looking at God a lot.
Cleared out the entire path to Amelia. We fought Amelia.
He's looking at a lot.
I went to the west and unlocked the Hemwick Village.
Go over the ceiling immediately now.
And unlocked the way to the nightmare.
We're using this a lot more now.
Went to
these weird blinks.
Went all the way down the tower. Investigated all the alleyways behind the tower. Unlocked all the areas to the left of that big gate area where normally you would have to bought the symbol, but I didn't buy the symbol. I went the back way because I saved blood echoes. We did all that. Cleared out the entire Hemwick Village, including the witch's boss, and more. So we did a lot of progress today, like really big progress. Next time around, I have so many choices. I could do the jail, which we skipped for now, but we can go back. I could do the nightmare, which would be crazy because that's probably going to be really hard for where I am in my level. Or we could continue on in the Forbidden Woods. Like, we have many options of what to do next. Here's what happened. By the end of the stream, no exaggeration, we had about maybe, I want to say it was like $60 in support. I could be wrong, but I think it was around $60, and it was like 15 minutes left till the end of the stream. All right? And just as it's about to end, Emil came back. If you don't remember, Emil is someone who used to be on the streams a lot and used to support in big ways. Sometimes doing big tips, sometimes gifting a ton of memberships. Emil's been around for years, on and off, supporting my streams, and they came back. And not only did they come back and do a giant member bomb that got us over the goal, but also became a member again because they hadn't renewed their membership in a while. So I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, we welcome back Emil.
Oh, welcome back, Emil. I love you.
It was close. Like, I'm not kidding. We had 15 minutes to go.
Email now.
And
now
email
you
came in
can
with that
connect your
kind of,
wallet to my
last minute
ATM.
support. So that was awesome. And we
Welcome
hit
back,
69
ATM.
straight streams of hitting the goals. Then on the late stream
Hey,
tonight
Crushy,
was
my
Call of Duty
trolls.
Black Ops 6. And I had the goal of getting the Akimbo GS hand
Okay, I don't give a fuck about the
and
GS
Warzone.
hands.
But we're not doing Warzone tonight. It was just multi. Kind of got like a little bit. I basically made a build now with the A locked because we had already good kill death ratios. And we only raised $50. And I said to everyone again, it's okay if the streak ends. And then as I'm playing, Adam, DBZ 90s man, who has been a staple of my
the last game they got $50. You dropped it immediately.
Streams, who has been supporting me huge with these super chats over the last month, did a giant super chat. Giant.
Whoa.
Which put us over the goal, but then announced publicly he's not going to be on streams anymore. He is going to watch my
Now, isn't it funny you got Theo Theor for you? Now, isn't it funny? The day email comes back, Adam leaves. And when the email came back, Adam only gifted 1 membership or 1 sub or whatever the fuck. And then the night stream came around and he's like, I'm gone. And these are very, like, OIC tendencies. Like, this is the shit OIC did all the time. Have big goodbye and farewells, and they would just come back anyway. And you know, this is also a game Trekker did, by the way. So all this stuff is very sussy-wussy. Alright.
Content on demand, behind the scenes, but he can't be on the streams anymore. He's basically getting very busy with his family. So that's it. He's not going to be around to do super chats anymore. So here's the deal. All right, here's what I need to be. I'm going to be as transparent, upfront, honest with the audience as I can.
Now, ask yourself, does this sound like a guy that says it's okay for the streak to end? Meanwhile, he titles this, Can the Streak Survive Tomorrow?
In this video, and I'm going to make sure that people know that this video is important. We have now had 70 straight streams of support hitting these goals. Before that, we had maybe like a dozen, then like 7. Then before that, it was like 41. You got to understand that since August, you guys have been tremendously supportive of me. All right? Now, obviously, it's got to end at some point. Considering the fact that I'm making some observations. Here's the observations. Almost every stream these days.
Look how this is so fucking awkward. Talking about, and you know, this dude bragged about how he doesn't talk about money, and he's talking about getting a lot of money. He's like, guys, can you believe this? Let's talk about it.
We got a decent amount of support, but we're not hitting the goal, and then all of a sudden, last minute,
this dude is saying decent. But again, earlier this year, $50 a stream was a success to him, and now it's just decent. Man, imagine if one of these like millionaire streamers that DSP hates so much were to say, I make decent money on stream. And how mad he'd get. He'd probably be like waging war against them.
Someone comes in, supports, and we go over, but it's always a last minute thing by like 1 or 2 individuals that puts us over. If you haven't noticed, this has been a very big pattern that's happened over the last week or 2 weeks. At first, it wasn't like that. It was like support here, support here, support here, support here. But as you've noticed, it's changing. Particularly, here's what I've noticed on Kick, okay?
You know, he said it's going to go back to normal where it's like $50 a stream and this and that. Now it's just like, guys, this is what I'm noticing. I'm going to lose more money. Oh, man, he's terrified. He's terrified of what's to come.
Lots less support. What I'm seeing on the Kick side of stuff is, you know, we had a few people who were doing huge contributions. You know, notably, Darkside Pimp, Rend, Iron Chef Sakai, just to name a few. There's a few others as well, but those are like the top 3 people who are actively supporting right now on Kick, okay? And when they come in, they would do giant member bombs, right? I say member bombs, excuse me, sub bombs. So it was much appreciated, but if you haven't noticed, they haven't been around actively. You know, I think Darkside Pimp has been around on and off, but not as much. Rend, we haven't even seen in like a week. I don't know what happened to him. And Iron Chef Sakai comes, if you haven't noticed, they haven't been around actively. You know, I think Darkside Pimp has been around on...
This is so awkward! Guys, do you know... Like, he says that the trolls are mentally ill for going after his viewers and this and that, but this is also kind of weird, too. He's highlighting the fact these people don't show up. It's so weird.
On and off, but not as much. Rend, we haven't even seen in like a week. I don't know what happened to him. And
What
Iron
about
Chef
Void?
Sakai comes in from time
Where's
to time,
Void?
but not all the time. So the kick support that I had gotten increased over the last month is kind of dried up and gone now. All right? On the YouTube side, Adam's going to be gone.
But this
Emil
is
did come back earlier
transparent.
today, but there's no guarantee Emil's coming back for future streams. He may
is
be
so
popping
weird.
from time to time.
This
I
is
feel
so fucking weird. You're weird. This is so bizarre, man. Emil came back. Oh, you don't know how long he's got. Like, it's like it's almost like trying to have someone come up with a plan to trap them in the room with him. Guys, we gotta make sure Emil comes back and he stays with us the rest of his life. How can we get him to stick around? This is so bizarre. And it's like, man, this is shit no one needs to say out loud. This is probably just stuff you say in your head.
that now the streak is going to end. And to be completely honest, I think it's going to end tomorrow, because if you don't know, tomorrow is Dragon Age Veilguard, all right? So allow me to tell you tomorrow's schedule, and then allow me to basically let you know my true feelings, okay? Tomorrow on the podcast, we know the Game Awards is basically dictated and run and voted on by very liberal progressive.
Yeah, the iron fist of the liberals. Yeah, you guys, we're gonna fucking make sure they nominate all the lib games like fucking Dragon Age and Astrobot. Yeah, that's a liberal game. Think about it. You're playing as a robot, not a person, and you could dress up the robot in woman clothes. Think about it. And then like we're gonna nominate all kinds of stuff I don't even know, and we're gonna ban Stellar Blade, and if anyone brings it, we're gonna shoot on sight. Oh, you like Stellar Blade? Bam, executed, because we don't like that shit. It's too fucking hot and too goonerific, so it has to be that way. Sorry. Fucking welcome to liberal America. This is Kamala's America. All right.
People. So I think there's going to be a giant uproar with some of these nominations, particularly if Veilguard gets nominated. So I'm very curious to see what it's going to.
This dude is acting as if like there's going to be like a January 6th for gamers if Veilguard gets nominated. They're gonna, dude. That kid who showed up and did that weird thing on stage that was annoying and it created an annoying like trend, he's gonna come back and he's gonna come back with a vengeance if Veilguard gets nominated. He's gonna come back and he's gonna say some more stupid shit that's not gonna be funny. That's gonna be what's gonna happen. I don't know if I can live in this country anymore. If that could happen, I don't know. I may have to go back to Greece. I just need to learn Greek. That's the only thing I need to do.
Going to be, and tomorrow should be a great day. Okay, we're gonna see how it goes. Then we're gonna play Dragon Age Veilguard on the first stream. I'm gonna be honest, I think that's the end of the streak, because Veilguard does not even usually bring in 200 viewers,
but it just
and certainly doesn't bring in a lot of support. It's actually been people like Adam, particularly, who have actually hit the goals on those streams for us. Okay, so unless there's a rallying of support for Veilguard tomorrow, I don't think we're going to hit the goal, and I think it's going to end. I think the streak will end at 70. Okay, I could be wrong. I've definitely been wrong before, but I'm not going to go into this with the mentality that it's going to continue forever when we've got most of the support on Kick has dwindled, and we've got a major supporter from the last month and a half who's leaving. I don't see it happening. All right, but the reason I'm telling you this, I want people to be aware of what's going on. Maybe you're someone who's been supporting and hasn't in a bit, and you're like, oh, well, I want the streak to continue. Now is the time, because these people who've been the regulars are not able to maintain forever. Now would be the time to come on stream tomorrow and see if we can keep it going. All right? But here's the deal. If the streak ends tomorrow, it's okay. It's totally fine. I'm not upset. Dude, we had 3+ months of insane, nonstop, over-the-top support.
Look at this, right? It's been people like Adam. Top tip, $200 dues. Adam super chatted $66. I don't think Adam hit the goal. I call me crazy. I mean, let's see. Where was the video where he actually hit the goal? It was this one, right? Yeah, it was.
All right, guys.
Oh, look! It wasn't fancy that. It was the $200 tip. Crazy, I know. Wow. He hit the goal from a $200 anonymous tip. Meanwhile, Adam is sitting with $66.
Allowed me to get a new washer dryer, install 2 ceiling fans in my home, get a bunch of other things behind the scenes here that I've been able to do. I've been spending more time with my wife, which has been nice. All of these things thanks to you guys. If it all ends tomorrow and we go back to how it was before, where it's, you know, not a lot of support every stream, it's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. And I've enjoyed this ride. It's been an amazing, positive ride. Thank you for it. All right? But let's see what happens, okay? Tomorrow night, you guys should like. I'm playing Warzone for the first time. It's going to be a late night stream of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Warzone. I have to do it solo. I had someone who was lined up interested in doing a team with me, but sadly they can't make it because of some stuff going on with their setup. So instead I got to do it solo. That's actually why I didn't play Warzone last week. I was waiting, but now it seems like it sucks. I can't, you know, they're not going to be ready in time. So I'm doing Warzone tomorrow night. It should be fun. I hope you join me for that.
Cool,
and it's always a good time with the Battle Royale stuff.
Nice
I don't know if I'm going to like it. I guess we'll find out. But it should be a fun streaming day tomorrow, all right? The real question, will now other people step up and support the streams, or will the goal end? Or the goal streak end? If it ends, it's okay. But I wanted to be as transparent as possible about what's going on. Not that people are shocked that, oh, I didn't know it was going to end. Well, we got really far, 70, right?
This is about someone who's giving you money. What is there to be transparent about? Why does he need to make a statement about people not giving him money? Why does he need a statement?
It would have been great if we keep it going. Imagine if this thing went another 3-4 months and we got to 276 and we topped the vest goal. You want to upset the trolls and detractors and make them eat crow. That would do it. They're already eating crow every day. They're so effing upset that I've been so successful. And you know.
Yeah, I'm so upset this fucker's been so successful. It's just that but I said this even with the vest streak. Look how he's getting these goals. Is he getting them from people who are generally supporting him? No. He's getting them from people who sit there waiting for him to be like, guys, we haven't hit a goal in this amount of time, and he has to like remind them and beg and like just kind of like dangle it over and over and over. He talked more about getting support than anyone else, and he's like, yeah, they love me. Like, come on, man. That's like come on.
You know, they're waiting in the wings to say, oh, it finally ended. But it's okay if it does. Really, it's not the end of everything. It's not. We'll just go back to how we were, and things will still be fine.
Good, go back to $50
the one big purchase I really have to make is a new PC.
I don't want
and after that, basically things will calm down a bit, I guess, and we'll go from there. But it's been a great ride. Tomorrow is an important day. Let's see what happens.
It's an important
day. Everybody,
no, it's not.
Thank you so very much.
Bitch.
Please have a good night. Enjoy the gameplay that I uploaded today.
February 2nd
and I'll see you tomorrow for another full and fun day on stream. Peace out.
All right. Thank you for watching this video. It was a fun one. It wasn't super political. You know, it only got political when I was doing stuff, but that's fine. You know, it's all good. It's not like I'm sitting here every day. And you guys love my content. You love my videos. You love me. Okay? It's all good. Anyways, thank you for watching, gamers. This has been a video. I will probably definitely do a video about his reaction to the nominees. I don't know what's getting nominated. I'm gonna find out by watching DSP's stream. That's how I'm gonna find out. So I'm going to try to make it as authentic as can be when I record my video to make sure you can see my live anger or whatever the fuck will happen. But thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. And as always,
time to skedaddle.
I'm out of here. See ya when I see ya. And bye.